right, it's game day. You only got one job to do. That's win. That means you stay focused for 4 quarters. Know your assignments and finish on every play. Don't be looking for shortcuts, and don't even think about making excuses. Because if you want the W, you're going to have to earn it.
And a very pleasant good evening, football fans, and welcome back to Baker Gator High School football on WTJT 90.1 FM. Tonight, we are live from Baker, Florida, inside Doug Griffith Memorial Stadium. It's the home of your Baker Gators. Last week, the Gators opened the season with a 42-0 exorcism of the Blue Devils of Holmes County. And tonight, they face the Yellow Jackets of Vernon. Last year, the Gators traveled to Vernon and they bite the Yellow Jackets 34-13. Tonight, the Jackets look to avenge that home loss by stinging the Gators here at Doug Griffith. It is high school football on WTJT. Stay tuned.
One of our sponsors this year for our live coverage of Baker Gator varsity football is Wise Equipment in Crestview. Wise Equipment specializes in sales and services of Kubota and John Deere mowers and tractors. They carry Steel and John Deere chainsaws, line trimmers, and blowers. Plus, they have John Deere toys. All products are backed by a manufacturer's warranty. Wise Equipment is located at 1147 South Verdon Boulevard in Crestview and can be reached at 850-682-3366.
We are proud to acknowledge the support of Whitehurst Powell Funeral Home in Crestview. They are a family-owned and operated funeral home, open 7 days a week, and can handle all funeral needs. Plus, they offer advanced planning. Whitehurst Powell is also home to the Southern Heritage Crematory. They are located at 436 James Lee Boulevard, and the phone number is 850-682-3052. Owner Andy Powell is committed to caring for you in your time of need, and is also proud to help make coverage of Baker Gator football possible.
And welcome back to Baker Gator High School football on WTJT 90.1 FM. Tonight, live from Baker, Florida, inside Doug Griffith Memorial Stadium. I'm Mark Forehand, all set to bring you the exciting play-by-play action of tonight's game between the Baker Gators and the Vernon Yellow Jackets. And with me once again, the man who provides color commentary, analysis, my younger son, Seth. And Seth, it's good to be back with you right here in the press box.
Thank you, Dad. It is very good to be back here on Friday night, doing maybe the best job that we could possibly do.
It is good to have you, our listeners. Well, last week, the Gators opened the season with the Holmes County Blue Devils. And Seth, no offense to our friends to the east of us, but the Gators simply shut down and shut out the Blue Devils 42-0. The workhorse that night, Junior McLaughlin. He had 131 yards on 14 carries. That's almost 10 yards per carry. Not to mention a punt return for 55 yards where he was zigzagging in and out of the Holmes County defenders. Seth, he looked like a motorcycle on 85 North on a Monday afternoon at 4 o'clock, the way he just in and out of those Holmes County defenders. But also Peyton Rockwell, he threw just 5 passes, completed all 5. Not a bad average for 142 yards. But who really impressed me the most was the young receiver, Brad Inscore. 3 receptions, 99 yards. But what was impressive was he twice, between defenders, jumped up, made an incredible leaping catch, about 30-plus yards on 2 different occasions. And then John Metaleska, 1-yard dive, scored 1 touchdown also for the Gators. But they looked great on offense last week.
I agree. It was very impressive to go back and look over their stats from that previous week and just see how productive that offense was. I mean, for a first game, coming out on fire, looking like there's no rust. They are a well-oiled machine, already playing like they're at the peak of their season. So very fun. And like you said, McLaughlin, just an absolute workhorse. Averaged almost 10 yards a carry. It's awesome for the Gators to have a back that they can hand the ball off to and be just about guaranteed a first down every time he touches the ball. An impressive score for him. And looking at them, he was one of the playmakers from last week, and really two guys combined. A guy we didn't mention a minute ago was Derek Peoples, who also he caught one of Peyton Rockwell's 5 passes for a touchdown, and he also had a rushing touchdown that game. He had 3 carries for 115 yards, so a very impressive, nearly 40-yard average every time he touched the ball. Very impressive runner. And McLaughlin and Peoples actually combined for 341 yards, compiling almost 60% of the Gator offensive production and 5 of the 6 touchdowns they scored. So a couple of workhorses on this Gator team. And like you said, they just never gave Holmes County a chance. They got a couple of drives started, got close into Baker Gator territory, and then the Gators just pinned down and stopped them. So just a very impressive week last week, and I think it's going to be another fun week to call this week.
Very true, Seth. Yes, the Blue Devils twice or so got deep into Holmes County territory or Baker territory, but that stout Baker defense they toughened up and just shut them down and kept them out of the end zone and off the scoreboard. First game, a 42-0 shutout. That's not bad for the Baker Gators.
Not at all. Like I said, very impressive week by that defense, and something that they, I'm sure, have been thinking about again this week. They're coming back. Once a defense gets a taste of some shutout victories, it just feels good, and of course they're going to want to try to keep that trend going, and we'll see what they can do against a very impressive, highly anticipated Vernon offense.
True. Now, last week Vernon, for some reason, had an open date, did not play in the season opener, at least for the rest of the teams in the area. But tonight they come, and last year they lost to Baker in their backyard, 34-13. I'm sure they'd love to come in here and repay that favor to the Baker Gators. We're just about set for the coin toss. And team captains for the Gators are Peyton Rockwell, your quarterback, Taylor Barrow, and also Seth Blahuda. For the Vernon Yellow Jackets, it is Demetrius Walston, Nick Campbell, and Tyler Watford. Now, the Yellow Jackets are blue and orange. Tonight they're wearing all white pants with a blue stripe, white jerseys with blue numbers and blue helmets. The Gators, once again, are decked out in maroon jerseys with white numbers, maroon helmets, and maroon pants. The referees are in black and white stripes with black pants. Just thought I'd throw that out there. But anyway, waiting the coin toss. Now, Seth, Coach Brunson's first head coaching job was at Vernon back in 1997. He was there for 4 years. Had a record of 35 wins, 12 losses. Not bad. But also 3 district titles and 1 regional title. His playoff record at Vernon was 5 wins, 3 losses. But that was 18 years ago. But I'm sure there's still some ties between Coach Matt Brunson and the Vernon Yellow Jackets.
I'm sure, obviously, with his being his very first coaching job there. And he had a very good success with the teams that he had. So impressive work, and obviously tonight he gets to play against his first coaching job, and now his former team can see just how much he's grown and how much he continues to just have success wherever he goes. So I think we'll see some more of that tonight.
Well, we are just about set for kickoff between Baker and Vernon. We'll take a break and be right back.
WTJT would like to thank Harris Fence of Baker, Florida for their support of WTJT and live coverage of Baker Gator football. Harris Fence offers a wide range of fencing services and supplies which include chain link, galvanized or vinyl coated, wood, privacy or picket, PVC, privacy, 3-rail, etc., and ornamental aluminum. They also offer various styles and brands. They do residential, commercial, and industrial work as well as offer free estimates and military and senior citizen discounts. Harris Fence is fully licensed and insured, and they have been serving Okaloosa, Walton, and Santa Rosa County for 21 years with 35 years experience. They are also a member of the Better Business Bureau. Harris Fence is located at 1588 Garrett Mill Road in Baker, Florida, and they can also be contacted by phone at 537-6169. Thanks again to Harris Fence and James and Rebecca Harris for your support of WTJT and our local football team.
And welcome back to Baker High School. Mark and Seth with you. It is Friday night football, and we are live from Baker, Florida, Doug Griffith Memorial Stadium. And Seth, a lot of rain this afternoon, and watching Vernon practice, warm up before the game, there are several soft, mushy spots. This field deserves their nickname, the Swamp.
Oh, absolutely. Tonight you can really see it. Very muddy, very nasty looking, and that's going to, I think it could contribute to some of the play we might see. We might see some slips. We might see some fumbles. I think it's going to impact them, but it's definitely going to be fun to watch.
Well, Vernon lost the coin toss. Baker had the option and have deferred to the second half, which simply means they're kicking off.
Correct.
And once again, kicking off for the Gators will be number 28, Brian Holly. Now, last week, Seth, he kicked off 7 times and 7 pooch kicks. Do you want to make a prediction that there'll be another pooch kick here tonight?
I'd bet my bottom dollar it's going to be another pooch kick.
Back deep for Vernon is number 2, Tyler Watford. It is a pooch kick, and it's taken by number 5, Nico Campbell. He pays for it as he is hit hard by number 9, Joe Brunson. And Joe Brunson repeated what he did last week.
A familiar scene. That was just like the very first kickoff last week. Player took the ball, and immediately Joe Brunson's in his face and says, "Hey, welcome to the swamp."
Well, Nico Campbell, no fair catch. And as soon as he caught it, he caught Joe Brunson at the same time. And he takes the ball at the Vernon 37-yard line. Just underway, no score from Baker. And Seth will get the starters for the Baker defense here momentarily. We failed to do that during pregame. Once again, hey, it's still learning. They set up in shotgun formation. The quarterback is number 14, Davion Bush. The single setback is Powell. And he pitches back to Powell. Powell to the air, and it's nearly picked off by the Baker Gators. And that was number 6, Brad Inscored, that nearly made the interception on a pass from the, I'm sorry.
I'm going to correct you. That's actually number 5, Nathan Fleming.
That's who I said, Nathan Fleming.
One of the starting cornerbacks for the Gators. Impressive work. He read the quarterback's eyes all the way downfield and jumped in front of that ball just in time and really almost had a pick just slip through his fingers, but great read by the cornerback.
Incomplete pass, 11:50 first quarter. It is second down, 10 Vernon from their 37-yard line. Once again, shotgun formation. Bush is the quarterback, and Powell is the single setback behind him. He hands off to Powell this time, and he goes nowhere. He is stopped immediately at the line of scrimmage. And once again, looks like, I believe, is that Nathan Fleming again? Joe Brunson. Joe Brunson, yes.
Yeah, Joe Brunson coming in from that right outside linebacker spot just immediately. As soon as the running back found the hole, Joe Brunson found the hole and stopped him for a no gain.
So it is third down and 10 for Vernon from their 37. Clock rolling, 11:20 first quarter. And again, Bush in shotgun formation. Powell, the single running back, awaits the snap from his center. Number 56, Joseph Jenkins, now turns to the sideline, and there seems to be some confusion and discussion, and we'll take a timeout. Vernon. 11:06 to go, no score, first quarter. Back after this.
This radio ministry relies heavily upon its gracious supporters to survive, like Days Tire Pros in Crestview. In addition to tires with a national warranty, they have a complete car care center, providing brake jobs, front end and rear end alignments, oil change, lube and filter, shocks, belts, air conditioning, and so much more. Days is located where they've been for nearly 4 decades of service on Highway 85 South, which is also home to Pack Rat Mini Storage. The phone number, 850-682-5088. Thanks, Kim and staff, for your support. Days Tire Pros, home of the hassle-free guarantee.
And welcome back to Baker, Florida. After a Vernon timeout with some confusion, they still face third down, 10 from the 37-yard line. Again, shotgun formation. Bush is your quarterback. There's the snap. He's going to keep it, and there's some whistles and some flags down, and it was illegal procedure against the Yellow Jackets. So, Seth, so far, Vernon just really going nowhere on this first drive.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. And this is the first game they played, so this is actually their first game of the season versus Baker already having that one game under their belt. You've kind of gotten the first game jitters out of the way, and so now we might see some of the things from Vernon that we saw from Baker and Holmes County last week. That's
absolutely true. This is their first game, their season opener. A 5-yard penalty. It is third down, 15 Vernon back at their 32. 11:03 first quarter, and there's no score. We're just underway here from Baker. Davion Bush is your quarterback again in shotgun formation. Awaits the snap from Jenkins. He keeps the ball, fumbles. He was hit real hard there by Sean McLeod, but Bush recovers his own fumble, but no gain, Seth. Maybe a yard is going to bring up 4th and long for the Yellow Jackets.
And that's a great read by the Gators. Vernon's trying to run a speed option there, and the quarterback looks like he's about to pitch, and as he's about to pitch, he muffs it and is able to recover it, but the Gators read that option perfectly. Every man stayed on his man, and they were able to hold Vernon to no gain once again.
So 4th and 15. Junior McLaughlin back at his 38-yard line awaits the punt. And the punter for Vernon is Nick Campbell. And he gets off. It's a pretty decent punt, a line drive. McLaughlin looks like he's going to pick it up, then backs off, and it rolls to the Baker 33-yard line. So Campbell gets Vernon out of dangerous field position, but with the Gators, it doesn't matter. We watched them last week drive about 70 yards on one drive. Well, a 69-yard run, then a 1-yard dive, but nonetheless.
Correct.
So Baker, 1st and 10 from their 33, 10-11 first quarter, no score. So Baker defense forces a 3 and out.
Great start for the Baker defense. Now we'll see what the offense can do.
Peyton Rockwell starts out under center and hands off to McLaughlin right side, and McLaughlin gets maybe 3 yards, Seth, out to the 36 before being stopped by the Jacket defense.
And just a simple fullback dive, just trying to get him any kind of running space. That time he goes up the middle. Vernon reads it quick, closes on him, and keeps him to a short gain.
9:50 to go first quarter. It is 2nd down and 7 from the Baker 36-yard line. And Peyton Rockwell once again under center. And hands off again to McLaughlin, and he runs into a brick wall of Yellow Jackets. He's still on his feet, but he is finally brought down back about the 34-yard line. It's going to be a loss. And Seth, like we mentioned earlier, a lot of the rain this afternoon all week, or you can see just in the middle field just where it's just really soft. So it could be hard for both teams to get their footing tonight. Nonetheless, it is now 3rd down and 9 for Baker back at their 35-yard line.
And once again, Baker running the ball, starting out with that kind of slow, methodical offense that Coach Brunson likes to run that's been obviously very effective the last few years. Vernon seemed to have picked up on these first 2 runs pretty well. We'll see if Peyton Rockwell gets to use his arm on this 3rd and long.
Well, once again, he is under center. And now there's a whistle. And looks like Coach Brunson may be calling a timeout. 8:49, no score, first quarter, back after this.
Milligan Assembly of God is a proud sponsor of Baker Gator football. Our service times are on Sundays at 9:30 for Sunday school, 10:30 for morning worship, and 6 p.m. for Sunday night explosion. Our midweek service is on Wednesday nights starting at 7 p.m., and there is something for every age group of the family. You can connect with us at mag.church, and you can check us out on Facebook. From Pastor Mike White and the congregation of Milligan Assembly of God, we want to say,
Go Gators, yeah!
WTJT would like to send a special thanks to CCSI of Crestview, Florida. It's businesses like you, through all your support, that makes this live coverage of the Baker Gators Friday Night Football possible.
And welcome back to Baker High School inside Doug Griffith Stadium. After a timeout by the Baker Gators, they face 3rd down 9 from the 35-yard line. 8:49, no score. Rockwell under center. In motion is Peoples. And the flag comes down as Rockwell kept the ball and his helmet gets ripped off. Now, will he have to come out for at least one play here, Seth? Or
I'm not sure if that rule extends to high school, but one of our analysts over here is shaking her head to say yes, it does. So it's a possibility he will have to sit out a play. But there's also another flag on the sideline that was thrown a little bit late. So we'll see if that is a personal foul.
Well, thanks for that correction, Seth. That's right. Mark Forehand, play-by-play, Seth Forehand, color commentator, and Sharon Forehand, analyst.
Correct.
And keeper of the flame. The starters for the offense, and it's going to be holding against the Gators. Up front, the big guys. Center is Dustin Oglesby. Left guard, Carter Mason. Left tackle, Taylor Barrow. The right guard is Gavin Vaccarello, better known as Crisco. Right tackle is Zach Mason, and the tight end is Brian Holly, who's also your place kicker. Quarterback is the senior Peyton Rockwell. fullback Clifton Baker, and tailback is Junior McLaughlin. And the receivers are Brad Inscore, Derek Peoples, and also Jack Adams. And they march the ball all the way back, Seth, to the 27-yard line of the Gators. So now they face third down. And it looks like it's about 17 yards.
Yeah, and on the sideline over there, apparently there was some offsetting unsportsmanlike conduct penalties on each team. So those fouls are going to offset, and only the holding will stand. But, again, that'll bring up a third and very long. And I think now, possibly, I'm just speculating here, we might see Peyton Rockwell use that arm.
Well, he has Peoples and Inscore spread wide right. Actually, Junior McLaughlin is in the Wildcat. And there's another whistle and another flag. And it looks like, what's that, delay a game against the Gators. And the time clock ran down. So 8:13 to go in the first quarter. And Seth, this looks nothing like the Baker team we watched last week, at least not as the game progressed. But so far, the Gators are going backwards on this opening drive. Now facing third down and about a mile.
It looks like about 3rd and 22. And, yeah, a couple of penalties on this drive, very uncharacteristic of the Gators. And so now we'll have a 3rd and long. And, again, Peyton Rockwell is not going to be able to play on this play because of the loss of the helmet on the previous down.
That's true. So it is actually Junior McLaughlin who's in the Wildcat. Jack Adams comes to the left, and it's going to be McLaughlin keeping. Now he wants to throw. Now he's going to keep the ball, and he's pursued by a swarm of Jackets. Drops the ball near the 30-yard line. I think the Gators did recover, but it's going to be 4th and long. And a punting situation for the Gators. And Seth, if I remember, I don't believe the Gators punted at all last week against Holmes County.
I want to say Rockwell may have got one punt in that entire game. It was near the very end of the fourth quarter. The Gators were already cruising to a victory, and he only had to punt one time. So this is definitely completely different from what we saw in the first game.
Well, it's 4th and about 16 from the Baker 28-yard line. 7:31 first quarter, no score. And the Gators in punt formation. And back to punt. It looks like more. It is Peyton Rockwell. He bobbles the snap. He's going to have to run. He's looking to throw, now running. He's going to pick up some yards, but not very much. And he is slammed to the ground near the 28-yard line. So really no gain. And what just an opening series for both teams. Very just uncharacteristic, as you said, of both teams.
And on that 4th down on that punt, I'm not sure if that was intended to be a fake punt that was going to be taken out to either throw or run, have the run-pass option, or if Rockwell did bobble the ball and then just tried to make the best of a bad situation. But Vernon, regardless, saw it quick, saw what was happening, was able to close on him almost immediately, and he got back to the line of scrimmage, actually. And so now Vernon with excellent field position to start their second drive of the night.
7-10 first quarter, no score. Bush in shotgun, awaits a snap from Jenkins, pitches back to Powell, right side, and he is pulled down pretty quickly. I believe that was Sean McLeod who got him originally, and then get some help from Peyton Rockwell and a few others on the Baker defense. And up front for the defense is Devin Jordan at the nose guard. Tackles are Sean McLeod and Carter Mason, and the ends are Eric McQueen and Caleb Simpler. Now 2nd down and 11 for the Jackets back at the 29-yard line. 6:41 to go opening quarter. And Bush still looking to the sideline now. Awaits the snap from Jenkins. Back to pass. Goes to the air. He hits this man, then he drops the ball. The pass was intended for Chiron Green. But I think he may have heard footsteps, Seth, or maybe just couldn't hang on to that ball.
I think a little bit of both. He tries to come over on a little slant route. His quarterback, Bush, sees him quickly and is able to make the pass, get it out of his hands fast, but the receiver just dropped it. And I think, like you said, he heard Nathan Fleming coming up behind him, and Fleming made sure that he knew he was there with the extra hit.
6:28 first quarter, still no score. And the Jackets facing 3rd down, 11. The ball just inside the Baker 30-yard line. Again, Davion Bush, quarterback, in shotgun for the Jackets. Takes a snap. He's under pressure. Gets the ball off. Hits his man. That is Proctor, who makes a great catch near inside the 20-yard line. And very close to a first down. In fact, he does have the first down. So Christian Proctor, a great catch from Davion Bush. And now an official timeout for water break. 6:21, no score. Baker Vernon back after this.
Attention WTJT listeners. For us to stay on the air, it takes the support of friends like Baker Tire Center. Baker Tire Center is now a Goodyear tire dealer, but they still have a wide range and variety of all the different brands. From economy to luxury tires, from street to mud tires. They handle all tire needs, including flat repairs, mount and balance, rotate and balance, alignments, brake pads, shocks, tune-ups, AC work, and much more. Baker Tire Center also offers standard synthetic and diesel oil changes, as well as transmission, coolant, power steering, and brake services. Baker Tire Center is located at 5768 Highway 4 in Baker, and the phone number is 850-537-4002. Open Monday through Friday from 7:30 to 5, 7 to 12 on Saturday. Available on Google and Facebook. Baker Tire Center, now a Goodyear tire dealer in Baker, offering 12-month interest-free financing and a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty.
It is 1st and 10 for the Jackets just inside the Baker 20-yard line. And after an official timeout, a flag comes down. Now, that's offsides against the Yellow Jackets. And not a penalty you see very often on the offense. You know, occasionally you'll see maybe illegal procedure or illegal motion. But anyway, so now 1st and 15, and the ball is back. Looks like about the 21-yard line. Handoff goes to Powell, left side. He's breaks through one tackle, still going downfield. And he's finally tripped up and brought down. I believe that was Nathan Fleming who makes the tackle inside the 10-yard line near the 8. And that's going to be close to, if not another Vernon first down.
And Powell with another great run just keeps those feet moving. And in these wet conditions with this slippery field, he's able to keep churning, doesn't lose his footing, and he's even breaking tackles, which is something we didn't see happen very often on the Gator defense, who are very sound in their tackling skills. And Powell there gets most of the yardage back and gives them a second and short to work with.
2nd down, 1 for Vernon. Inside the Gator 10, looks like the 8-yard line. 5.5 to go in this first quarter. And Bush remains in the shotgun formation for the Jackets. Hand off to Powell. And he's hitting the backfield immediately, quickly, by Brad Inscore. And so he is stopped shy. And it's a fumble. Apparently we missed that, Seth, but it's a fumble. And the Gators recover. So what a great break. Again, that defense, they want to, so far they've kept one opponent out of the end zone, and obviously that's the goal here, but a great play by Brad Inscore forcing that fumble, and I'm not sure who made the recovery, but nonetheless, the Gators have it. They're pinned back inside the 10, but at least they stopped that Vernon drive.
Absolutely a great defensive stop. They're able to grab Powell's legs, keep him stood up for long enough for one of the other Gators to come in and do a little peanut punch, as we call it, get the ball on the ground, and then the Gators just quick to fall on it.
5:22, first quarter, no score. Now the Gators with their second drive after a fumble recovery. And Rockwell hands off to, I believe that's McLaughlin again, Seth, on the far side. And again, not much room for McLaughlin. He gains, looks like maybe about 4 yards. It is 2nd down, 6 from the 12-yard line.
Just another simple dive play just right up the middle. And this is where the Gator O-line is really going to have to do some work in the trenches against this very strong, very powerful-looking Vernon defensive line to create some holes and give McLaughlin the space he needs to get out and make some big plays for him.
Joe Brunson and Derek Peoples come into the lineup. Clock is rolling at 4:45 first quarter. 2nd down, 6. Baker from their 12-yard line. Rockwell under center. Keeps the ball, goes on the right side, and again, Seth, maybe a yard gain, or he may have just got back to the line of scrimmage and brings up 3rd down and 6 from the 12.
Yeah, trying to run that power option there to the right and get outside to give their guys some space. But Vernon, just great speed on this defense, able to get out there quick and hold Peyton to a short gain, or no gain, actually. Maybe a yard loss, in fact.
4:10 to go in the first quarter. And I believe you're right, Seth, brings up 3rd down, 7, the ball back at the 11-yard line. And Peyton remains under center. In motion goes Adams. And I believe Peyton, looks like he may have kept the ball that time. and gets out. He gets out close to the 20-yard line, about the 18 looks like. But it's going to bring up fourth and about a yard, maybe 2 yards to go. Now they're going for it apparently. Maybe they're going to try to draw Vernon off sides. But it looks like it failed. It was illegal procedure against the Gators. So, yeah, a hurry-up play there, trying to draw Vernon off sides, and it backfires on the Gators. And now that's going to bring up fourth and about 7, back at about the 12-yard line. 3.5 to go in the first quarter. And looks like now the Gators, even though a great stop by the defense, Seth, now they'll be forced to punt from deep in their own territory.
Yeah, and probably a good choice here. 4th and 1, they probably could have got it with the way they're running tonight. Some strong offensive linemen creating just enough space to get a yard or two. But now that 4th and long, deep inside your own territory, probably best choice here to go ahead and punt it away.
Peyton Rockwell back to punt, but there's no one deep for the Yellow Jackets. And once again, a delay a game. There is one man back. That's River Basinger for that's Powell. Powell is back for the Jackets, but even he, Seth, was not very far back. Maybe either anticipating a short punt or a fake, but it's 4th and 11. The ball inside the 10 now. It's a high snap. Rockwell gets it down and gets off a decent punt. It's going to bounce at the Baker 40 and rolls to about the 43-yard line before it's downed by Trey Colmet. So now both teams, 2 drives, no score, 2:53 back after this.
WTJT would like to thank Jason Norton and Baker Metalworks for allowing us to bring live Baker Gator football coverage to the listeners of WTJT. Baker Metalworks offers a large variety of colors, and they are all Energy Star rated. They have 4 profile styles with 29 and 26 gauge. They also have delivery available, and all of their materials are Florida product approved. Baker Metalworks is located at 5846 Highway 189 in Baker. They can be reached by phone at 850-537-2010. Thanks again to Baker Metalworks for all of your support here at WTJT.
It is 1st and 10 Vernon at the Baker 43. Bush hands off to Powell, right side, runs into a swamp of Gators, and is brought down by that stout Baker defense. Big number 62, that is Carter Mason on the tackle.
And Carter Mason, also one of the offensive guards for the Gators, who plays both ways and also plays as a stellar defensive tackle. And that time he's able to be right up there up front, catches Powell quick, and holds him to a short gain.
2:30, first quarter, 2nd down 9. Quick pass from Bush out to Proctor is incomplete, and right there on the coverage, I believe that was that Fleming or in-score, Seth?
Neither. It was actually Derek Peoples.
That's what I said, Derek Peoples. 2:20 to go, first quarter. Now the Jackets facing 3rd down 9. The ball at the Baker looks like it's about the 43-yard line. The longer they play, Seth, the field really becoming just more and more just mushy and soft out there.
Absolutely. Because
of all the rain, not just today, but really for the entire week. 3rd down 9, 2:20 to go, first quarter, and Bush in the shotgun formation once again. Back to pass. Good protection. Now he's being pursued or under pressure. Throws the ball towards his receiver. That's Powell, and it goes incomplete.
Yeah, that time Bush was just under enormous pressure from guys like Joe Brunson, Caleb Simpler, and I believe that's also big number 42, Devin Jordan. So he had 3 guys in his face trying to make a quick pass to the outside. His receiver, Powell, slips on the streak route. Nobody in the vicinity, and now it'll bring up a fairly quick 4th down. So good stand by the Gators.
And back to punt for the Jackets is Nick Campbell. Junior McLaughlin at about his 20-yard line. It is 4th and 9 from the Baker 43. Campbell gets off his punt, and it will bounce near the 20-yard line, rolls down to the 10, and there's down by the Jackets. 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. No score. Back after this.
Hi, this is Tony from Baker Feed and Country Store. The Baker Gator football season is back, and we are proud supporters of WTJT's live Baker Gator football program. Baker Feed and Country Store has all your fall food plot, seed, and fertilizer needs, along with corn, rice bran, pellets, and blocks. We carry Justin boots, belts, wallets, and Wrangler jeans. Baker Feed and Country Store is located on the right at the light in downtown Baker and can be reached by phone 537-1000. Again, that's 537-1000. Go Gators!
And welcome back to Baker. 2:02 first quarter, no score, and the Gators on their third possession, 1st and 10, the ball at about their 11-yard line. And it's Junior McLaughlin on the carry off the left side, and he's brought down quickly by Gabriel Cook of the Jackets near the 17 or 18-yard line. About a 6-yard pickup brings up second down, maybe a 5-yard pickup, says second down 5 for the Gators.
That's a good run by McLaughlin. Running the Wildcats, something we only saw a couple times last week. They've run several more plays from that formation tonight, and McLaughlin there is able to get outside, try to find some space, and pick up a nice 5 yards.
A minute 25 to go in this opening quarter. And again, McLaughlin from the Wildcat position. This time runs to his right. He gets a great block by Carter Mason, and he's out to about the 25-yard line. And Seth, that may be the first down we've seen tonight, or at least it seems like it.
I believe it's either maybe the first or second. The first for the Gators, I believe the second all night. And that time McLaughlin just doing what he does best, finding gaps, making plays, making good moves. He's very shifty with his feet, very agile. And that time able to pick up a first down for the Gators and get them out of the shadow of their own goalpost.
60 seconds to go in this first quarter. No score. Baker on their third possession. 1st and 10 from their 25-yard line. Once again, Junior McLaughlin in the Wildcat formation takes his direct snap. He's across the 30-yard line. Still going to the 35, and finally pulled out of bounds near the 40 by Demetrius Walston of the Jackets. But it's a first down for the Gators. And finally getting out of the shadow of their goalpost.
And I want to mention a great block that I watched there from the left tackle, that's Tyler Barrow, and from the fullback, Kenny Williams. They created a hole that even you or I could have run through. And then McLaughlin just using his speed, gets to the outside, gets up the sideline, picks up another first down, and now we're seeing a very familiar Gator offense.
Your optimism is overwhelming. 30 seconds to go in the first quarter. 1st and 10, Baker now near the 38-yard line. Again, McLaughlin from the Wildcat cuts outside, cuts inside. He's across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Nice from up by McLaughlin, and he's stopped by Powell near the 46. And 10 seconds to go, and that may be the last play of this scoreless first quarter. At the end of one quarter, Baker 0 and Vernon 0. We'll take a short break. Be right back. Oh, I'm sorry, Seth. Go ahead.
Yeah, before we go back, we just want to let all of our listeners know that if you have any family or friends that are living in another part of the world who would like to listen to some of their family members that are playing for either the Gators or the Yellow Jackets or any of the other teams that Baker will play in the next 8 games, that you can go to youtube.com online and go to Jock Jive Sports YouTube channel. And there you can listen to us live on the internet anywhere in the world and hear how your family's doing playing for the Gators.
All right. We'll take a short break. Be right back after this.
WTJT and the Baker Gators are proud to recognize Baker Parts in downtown Baker as a sponsor of live coverage of Baker Gator football. Baker Parts has auto parts and hardware for all household needs. Baker Parts is located at 1304 Georgia Avenue in Baker, and their phone number is 537-3131 or 537-4231. Thanks, Danny, and all the staff at Baker Parts for helping to make coverage of Baker Gator football possible on WTJT.
And welcome back to Baker, Florida, inside Doug Griffith Memorial Stadium. Mark Forehand and Seth Forehand with you on this Friday night. And after a scoreless first quarter, the Baker Gators facing second down and about a couple of yards from their 46-yard line. And looks like McLaughlin will stay in that Wildcat formation. Awaits the snap from center Oglesby, and now there's a whistle. And it's offsides on the Yellow Jackets. So that'll be an easy first down for the Gators.
And those are the best kind of first downs, the ones you don't really have to work for.
Just underway, no score, and definitely, Seth, a completely different ball game from last week against Holmes County. And this reminding everyone that this is the season opener for Vernon. They had an open date last week. And they're really holding their own here against the Baker Gators. It is 1st and 10 Baker at the Vernon 49-yard line. McLaughlin in the Wildcat. Takes the snap up the middle. He's to the 45, the 40, and he's tripped up at the 40-yard line. A nice little tackle there by Tyler Watford of the Yellow Jackets. But a nice run by McLaughlin. Very close to a first down.
Another solid run by McLaughlin, just straight at the middle. And it all starts with those big guys up front who are just now really starting to come into their own and making some huge holes for him to run through. And now you see why his average goes up and why he was such a powerful runner, because of those 5 men up front that are just paving the way and letting him get these big yards.
11:27, second quarter. It is 2nd down and 1 for the Gators. The ball at the Vernon 40-yard line. And again, repeating ourselves with McLaughlin in the Wildcat. Takes the direct snap. He's across the right side. He's got the first down and more as he's finally pulled down at the 35-yard line. And the tackle is made by Gabriel Cook for the Jackets.
And again, another strong run by McLaughlin, just getting outside, finding any kind of seam, any kind of space. And as soon as he does, he's just able to exploit the defense there and gets another first down. And now we're seeing a well-put-together drive by the Gators where they're just moving nickel and diamond all the way down the field.
11 minutes to go in the second quarter. No score, but it's 1st and 10 Baker. The ball just inside the Vernon 35. McLaughlin in the Wildcat. Direct snap. He's across the 35, but he's going to be hit by just a swarm of Jackets. And he's taken back almost to the original line of scrimmage. Brings up 2nd down and 10, or make that 2nd down and 9 for the Gators.
And this has just been one of those drives where the Yellow Jackets have to see what's coming pretty much at this point. McLaughlin is in the Wildcat formation. He's going to get the ball. At that point, you've got to figure out if he's going to run to the left or the right and where you're going to be able to stop him, because that's pretty much what's happened this whole drive. It's been Junior McLaughlin taking it from the Wildcat and pretty much just running into the heart of this Vernon defense and saying, try to stop me.
Exactly. You don't see very many passes from the Wildcat formation. It's different than the shotgun formation. But now the clock starts, 10:09. We're ready to go. The wheels will have blown momentarily there. McLaughlin left side, running behind Kenny Williams. Now cuts back to the right. He's to the 20, the 15, the 10. Pushed out of bounds inside the 10-yard line, but a nice run by Junior McLaughlin. He reversed his field and picked up several positive yards.
And again, like I said, they know it's coming, that McLaughlin is going to get the ball. That time he goes to his left, and like you said, immediately makes a great cutback. The entire defense is full going to that side of the field, and McLaughlin uses his speed, gets back to the right side, goes up that sideline, and just can't quite beat the last man. But another great run from McLaughlin.
9:56 second quarter, no score, and the Gators had the ball 1st and 10 at the Vernon 11-yard line. They can get a first down, but they'll be very close to the goal line if they do. And now, Seth, Peyton Rockwell is back in the game at quarterback, and he's in shotgun, and he's going to run to his left behind Kenny Williams, and he cuts back inside, but he's pulled down by a couple of Yellow Jackets. Powell is one of them, and he may have lost some yards. Well, let's see where his forward progress takes him to. It looks like it's inside the 10, so he did pick up a couple of yards, brings up 2nd down and 8 for the Gators.
And a good run by Rockwell, also showing off his legs. He says, Junior can't have all the fun tonight. I'm going to run a little bit, too. And he's able to find a little space and bring up a 2nd long for the Gators.
But talking about that Wildcat, it's more or less, you know what's coming, but stop me. Stop me, yeah.
Absolutely.
Clock rolling, 9:21 to go, second quarter. 2nd down, 8 for the Gators. Ball at the Vernon 9. And now Peyton Rockwell under center. And he hands off to, it was at Kenny Williams with the carry, and Kenny Williams inside the 5 to about the 4-yard line, and just a burst of speed there by Kenny Williams.
And Kenny Williams, a big fullback, showing off some legs there as well. A very powerful, strong fullback who just showed, like you said, a great burst of speed, goes right up the middle and gets them close to a Gator first down, bring up a third and very manageable.
It looks like it's third down and about 3 from the 4. 8:44 to go until the halftime. And again, Rockwell under center. He bobbles the ball. The ball's still loose. Wait to see who recovers. I believe the Gators may have recovered that fumble, Seth. But now they will be facing fourth and about 5 from the 6-yard line. So now do you test your place kicker, or which is Brian Holly, or do you go for it here with 8:10 to go until the half?
And that's a great question, and I think we're going to see Coach Brunson go for it here. And it looks like he's bringing back McLaughlin into the – nope, he's still going to keep Peyton Rockwell under center. So we'll see if they try to draw the offense or the defense off sides again, or if we might see his arm, a little play action here.
Okay. As they may be trying to draw them off sides, or I believe Coach Brunson is calling a timeout. 7:46 to go until the half. No score. Back after this.
One of our sponsors this year for our live coverage of Baker Gator varsity football is Wise Equipment in Crestview. Wise Equipment specializes in sales and services of Kubota and John Deere mowers and tractors. They carry Steel and John Deere chainsaws, line trimmers, and blowers. Plus, they have John Deere toys. All products are backed by a manufacturer's warranty. Wise Equipment is located at 1147 South Verdon Boulevard in Crestview and can be reached at 850-682-3366.
We are proud to acknowledge the support of Whitehurst Powell Funeral Home in Crestview. They are a family-owned and operated funeral home, open 7 days a week, and can handle all funeral needs. Plus, they offer advanced planning. Whitehurst Powell is also home to the Southern Heritage Crematory. They are located at 436 James Lee Boulevard, and the phone number is 850-682-3052. Owner Andy Powell is committed to caring for you in your time of need, and is also proud to help make coverage of Baker Gator football possible.
And on 4th and 5 from the 6-yard line, Rockwell back to pass, throws the ball, and is caught by Kenny Williams in the end zone. Touchdown, Baker Gators.
And a great catch by Kenny Williams. And again, we get to see Peyton Rockwell's arm, something that Vernon was not expecting there. Simple little play action gets Kenny Williams on a little slant route, and an easy touchdown for the Gators.
Well, the 4th down gamble pays off for Coach Brunson and the Gators, and just a nice little pass as Peyton Rockwell rolls out and hits Kenny Williams. He actually had to dive, and it looked like it was incomplete to begin with, but he made a shoestring catch, and it's a touchdown. And now on for the extra point is Brian Holly.
Yeah, that time the fullback got to show off his hand and said, I can do more than just run the ball. I can catch it too.
And besides just block, he can also catch.
That's right.
Fleming gets the ball down. The kick is up. It is good. 7:38 to go until the half. It is now Baker 7, Vernon nothing. Back after this.
WTJT would like to thank Harris Fence of Baker, Florida for their support of WTJT and live coverage of Baker Gator football. Harris Fence offers a wide range of fencing services and supplies which include chain link, galvanized or vinyl coated, wood, privacy or picket, PVC, privacy, 3-rail, etc., and ornamental aluminum. They also offer various styles and brands. They do residential, commercial, and industrial work as well as offer free estimates and military and senior citizen discounts. Harris Fence is fully licensed and insured, and they have been serving Okaloosa, Walton, and Santa Rosa County for 21 years with 35 years experience. They are also a member of the Better Business Bureau. Harris Fence is located at 1588 Garrett Mill Road in Baker, Florida, and they can also be contacted by phone at 537-6169. Thanks again to Harris Fence and James and Rebecca Harris for your support of WTJT and our local football team.
And we'll come back. A pooch kick by Brian Holly goes out of bounds near the Vernon 40-yard line. So Vernon will have excellent field position. So Seth, finally, it took us, about about 17 minutes, but finally a score, and it's Baker 7 and Vernon nothing once again. That was a little 6-yard pass from Peyton Rockwell to Kenny Williams, a diving catch, I might add, and a great catch. Real quick, we have one score for you. It is Niceville 7, Eastridge nothing in the second quarter. Niceville 7-0 in the second quarter. Of course, last week Niceville opened with a disappointing loss to Lincoln and trying to rebound from that loss. 1st and 10, Vernon from the 45, their own 45-yard line. 7:38 to go until the half. Bush in shotgun fakes a handoff. Now keeps the ball in the middle and makes a sliding Powell kind of slid his way to the Baker 45, but he was actually down back at the 47-yard line. So Powell in that Wildcat formation for the Yellow Jackets.
And a great run by Powell, just straight up the middle. He fakes that handoff, gets the Gators to bite on it just enough to give him time to just shoot right up the middle and gets a quick 9 yards to bring up a second and short.
Well, now, I don't know the whole story behind Kawan Powell, but I know there was a lot of anticipation from not just Vernon but other schools that will be playing against the Yellow Jackets on how good this young man is. And again, Powell in that Wildcat, and now a timeout taken by the Jackets. 6:52 until the half. Baker 7, Vernon nothing. Back after this.
This radio ministry relies heavily upon its gracious supporters to survive, like Days Tire Pros in Crestview. In addition to tires with a national warranty, they have a complete car care center, providing brake jobs, front end and rear end alignments, oil change, lube and filter, shocks, belts, air conditioning, and so much more. Days is located where they've been for nearly 4 decades of service, on Highway 85 South, which is also home to Pack Rat Mini Storage. The phone number, 850-682-5088. Thanks, Kim and staff, for your support. Days Tire Pros, home of the hassle-free guarantee.
And welcome back to Baker. After a Jacket timeout, they still face second down and about a couple of yards. Ball at the Baker 47. 6:52 until the half. And once again, Powell in the Wildcat, he's across the 40-yard line. And he's finally tackled by Devin Jordan, but it's a first down. Yellow Jackets at the Baker 39-yard line.
Another good run by Powell, just straight up the middle, and his offensive line showing off their skills now, breaking open some big holes and getting him into open space to run.
Well, Seth has been almost a mirror image tonight. You know, Baker in the Wildcat with McLaughlin, and now the Jackets in the Wildcat with Powell. And moving the ball quite successfully. 1st and 10, Vernon at the Baker 39. 6:25 to go until the half. Again, Powell right at the middle. He busts right through there. He's still breaking tackle. He's still going. Finally brought down by Devin Jordan, but inside the Gator 15 to the 12-yard line. It is 1st and 10, Vernon, and what a run by Kawan Powell.
And Powell was just lightning quick. As soon as he got the ball, it looked like he was about 10 yards away almost immediately. Just burst right through that line. Any sort of daylight, he found it, got through, and then laid a punishing move on the Gator secondary and able to get now inside the red zone. So Vernon putting together a pretty impressive drive.
6:08 to go until the half. It is 1st and 10, Vernon at the Baker 14-yard line, and Powell just explosive, but now he takes a break. And Bush is back in shotgun formation. And he hands off to Wayne Potter, who's inside the 10-yard line and brought down by Derek Peoples and also by Sean McLeod.
And Potter, they're trying to get outside the tackle, get outside and find some space. Tackled pretty quick by that Gator defense, but able to gain a few yards, get them a little bit closer to that end zone.
It's about a 3-yard pickup, brings up 2nd down 7. At the Baker 10-yard line, clock rolling 5:28. Again, Bush and shotgun for the Yellow Jackets. Potter, the single setback behind him. And now Bush looks to the sideline and don't know if there's some confusion or just changing the play. But the play clock is at 4, so he has to hurry up here. 2, 1, and he doesn't get it off. Delay a game on the Yellow Jackets. No, well, there was a delay game, but he called a timeout quickly to preserve that or to stop that penalty. 5:04 to go. It is Baker 7, Vernon nothing. Back after this.
Milligan Assembly of God is a proud sponsor of Baker Gator football. Our service times are on Sundays at 9:30 for Sunday school, 10:30 for morning worship, and 6 p.m. for Sunday night explosion. Our midweek service is on Wednesday nights starting at 7 p.m. and there's something for every age group of the family. You can connect with us at mag.church. And you can check us out on Facebook. From Pastor Mike White and the congregation of Milligan Assembly of God, we want to say,
Go Gators, yeah!
And welcome back to Baker High School. After a quick timeout by the Jackets to stop a delay game penalty, they are facing second down, 7 the ball at the Baker 10-yard line. 5:04 until the half. Baker 7 and Vernon nothing.
And we have an update in Niceville. Niceville now leading East Ridge 14-0. Still second quarter.
Okay, and here is Baker 7-0, but Vernon threatening. Second down, 7. Bush hands off to Powell. He's hit quickly by big Carter Mason. Almost saw that coming, and Carter Mason right there to stop that run immediately.
And great play recognition by Carter Mason. Also great to get off his block almost immediately. He's in the backfield getting the ball carrier. As soon as the ball carrier gets the ball, he's able to make a quick stop, bring up a 3rd and long.
He could have got the handoff himself, almost. It is 3rd down, 7, Vernon at the Baker 10. Clock rolling, 4:35 until the half. Baker on top, 7-0. Bush again in shotgun. He bobbles the ball. It's still loose, and he finally picks it up. And right there on the tackle was Trey Colmetz just to make sure, but it's a loss back to about the 14-yard line, the original line of scrimmage. It's 4th down now for the Jackets, and see what they do here. They place the ball, the 13, so it's 4th and 9 from the Baker 13. And Seth, they appear to be going for it here as well, and really down 7-0. Second quarter, 3:54 to go. He had no reason why not to. So quarterback is Davion Bush. He is in shotgun, and to his right is Powell. In motion goes Proctor. Bush looking to pass. He's being pursued by Kenny Williams. Now throws for the end zone and is caught. Touchdown, Vernon Yellow Jackets. And what a play by Davion Bush. Getting that ball off under pressure. And his touchdown. Well, hold on. There's a flag down. Illegal procedure against the Jackets. So that's going to nullify a fantastic catch by Vernon.
Yeah, that'll negate what was like you said, a phenomenal play with Davion Bush having about 6 Gators in his face, just coming on all-out blitz, finds the time, rolls out on the bootleg, and hits his man in the back of the end zone. But all that's going to be for naught on the illegal procedure. Now they're going to have to go an extra 5 yards if they want to get in that end zone.
They placed the ball back at the 19-yard line, or excuse me, the 18-yard line of the Gators. And as you said, now 4th. And about 13 or 14 yards to go. And the clock is stopped at 3:32 until halftime. And it's 7-0 Baker. And, of course, the Jackets going for it. Bush in shotgun. Drops back to pass. Under pressure. Gets the ball off somehow. And it's caught again. This time another touchdown by the Jackets. Unless another flag is down. But what a catch by number 7, Christian Proctor for the Yellow Jackets.
I think that play is going to stand. And, wow, I believe that 4th down conversion for the touchdown was even more impressive than the first one. That time, Bush, again, has guys in his face. This time, instead of rolling out, he steps up in the pocket, buys himself an extra half second, and is able to find Proctor in the end zone. And Proctor comes back to the ball, makes a diving catch, and gets the touchdown.
And they go for 2. They fake the extra point. But this time the pass by Bush is incomplete, so I've never liked to see that on a touchdown, go for 2 like that, because now the Jackets are down 7-6. That's your score here with 3:21 to go until the half. Back after this.
Attention WTJT listeners. For us to stay on the air, it takes the support of friends like Baker Tire Center. Baker Tire Center is now a Goodyear tire dealer, but they still have a wide range and variety of all the different brands. From economy to luxury tires, from street to mud tires, they handle all tire needs, including flat repairs, mount and balance, rotate and balance, alignments, brake pads, shocks, tune-ups, AC work, and much more. Baker Tire Center also offers standard synthetic and diesel oil changes, as well as transmission, coolant, power steering, and brake services. Baker Tire Center is located at 5768 Highway 4 in Baker, and the phone number is 850-537-4002. Open Monday through Friday from 7:30 to 5, 7 to 12 on Saturday. Available on Google and Facebook. Baker Tire Center, now a Goodyear tire dealer in Baker, offering 12-month interest-free financing and a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty.
And welcome back to Baker. After a touchdown pass from Bush to Proctor, the two-point conversion failed. It is now Baker 7, Vernon 6, 3:21 to go until the half. And it's a little squib kick. And I believe that was Nathan Fleming who falls on the ball at the Baker 35-yard line. So, wow, Seth, what just talk about mirror images. The Wildcat, the touchdown passes, and just an exciting game here. Baker 7, Vernon 6, and the Gators have the ball 1st and 10. It is actually at the Baker 33-yard line.
Yeah, just a great drive by Vernon, putting it together. Not many mistakes, not many penalties except at the very end, which ended up not costing them as they were able to score the touchdown. But just some great running. And now we're seeing why Powell was such a highly touted player and why people want to watch him play. A very explosive player, and really gave that Vernon offense some life on that last drive. And we've got a ball game tonight.
And once again, it looks like McLaughlin will be in that Wildcat formation, but a timeout taken by Baker. 3:14 to go. Baker 7, Vernon 6. Back after this.
WTJT would like to thank Jason Norton and Baker Metalworks for allowing us to bring live Baker Gator football coverage to the listeners of WTJT. Baker Metalworks offers a large variety of colors, and they are all Energy Star rated. They have 4 profile styles with 29 and 26 gauge. They also have delivery available, and all of their materials are Florida product approved. Baker Metalworks is located at 5846 Highway 189 in Baker. They can be reached by phone at 850-537-2010. Thanks again to Baker Metalworks for all of your support here at WTJT.
And welcome back to Baker. 1st and 10 Gators from their 33-yard line. 3:14 to go until the half. Wildcat formation is Junior McLaughlin, and McLaughlin gets across the 35 to about the 36-yard line. 3-yard pickup brings up 2nd down 7 for the Gators.
And this is one of those instances where if it ain't broke, don't fix it. McLaughlin is getting some great pickups in this Wildcat formation, still able to get up the middle, follow some great blocks. 2nd and 5.
Well, actually, yeah, a 5-yard pickup. Sorry about that. 2nd down 5. The ball's on the ground. McLaughlin picks it up and makes positive yardage by getting across the 40 to the 41-yard line. What a great play by Junior McLaughlin.
A great awareness by McLaughlin to catch that ball with snap quick, pick it up off the ground, and then the awareness to dive forward, and is able to actually pick up about 2 or 3 yards and bring up a 3rd and short for the Gators.
It is 3rd down and 2. Clock rolling at 2:25 to go until the half. Baker leads by 1.76. Wildcat formation. McLaughlin right side by a nice block there from Simpler. Sean McLeod. And McLaughlin picks up just a couple of yards. He's going to be just shy of the 1st down, Seth, or be very close to it. No, it is 1st down. The white hat signals 1st down, so it's 1st and 10. Baker barely, but nonetheless, they keep the ball for a fresh set of downs.
Yeah, another great run by McLaughlin, but great speed on that Vernon defense. Get on him quick and hold him just to the minimal amount possible to get that 1st down.
And again, McLaughlin in the Wildcat formation. And tries to go up the middle, but he's stopped quickly by that defense. That's Demetrius Walston on the tackle for the Yellow Jackets. Stuffs McLaughlin for a yard loss, looks like.
Yeah, great job by.
Or excuse me, so I'm sorry. He actually did get his forward progress was to the 45, so it's a couple of yards. Second down, 8, clock rolling. We're at 1:30 to go until the half. And I don't know, Seth. It looks like maybe they're going to try to just run this clock out. There's no timeouts for either team. But it's second down, 8, and the flag comes in, illegal procedure against the Gators, so that'll back them up 5 more yards. And that'll make it second down and about 13 back at the 40-yard line of the Gators.
I think you might be right. That might be the consensus to just go ahead and let this last minute 17 go down, go out, go into halftime with that 1-point lead, come out in the second half and see what they want to do. But it would be interesting at this very last minute to see. We have Brad Inscore lining over here in the slot position, Rockwell in the pistol. We might get to see a pass and get to see that cannon from Rockwell.
And Rockwell back to pass. It's a short pass over the middle. He hit Derek Peoples, and Derek Peoples got popped by Powell. And Peoples jumps up quickly, but what a hit by Powell on Peoples. And that's a lot of P's in one sentence.
And Peoples trying to get out there on that post route, trying to find some space in between the zone. But that time Powell just comes up, and as soon as the ball is there, Powell is there and jars it loose from him. Bring up a nice 3rd and long, I believe.
3rd down, 13 from the Baker 40. Clock is stopped at 56 seconds. Gators 7 and the Yellow Jackets 6.
And I'll be surprised if, again, you see another passing play, this time possibly trying to get in score again on a streak route like we saw last week.
And Peoples is wide to the left, but instead it is Peyton Rockwell on the quarterback keeper. He's across the 45, stopped near the 50-yard line, but well short of a first down, but a great run by Rockwell, and tackle is made by Nico Campbell for the Yellow Jackets.
And based on the amount of time on the clock, the Gators may have to run one more play, possibly a punt. There's about a 5-second differential between the play clock and the game clock.
Well, it's 4th down. No team has a timeout. But now Rockwell is in punt formation, Seth. But I'm like you. Well, they will have to run one play, but I think I would do something safer. But I'm not the quarterback, so we'll just have to see what Coach Brunson has drawn up. You know, Coach Brunson has been successful at every level of high school football, so I trust his judgment here in this delayed game on the Gators, and that stops the clock at 5 seconds. So now they'll have to run one more play, and I would look for a victory formation here just to run the clock out. But no, Rockwell's back in punt formation, so we shall see.
It'll be very interesting to see what they do here. He may just take the ball and then do a little run around, take a knee. We'll see.
Well, Powell is back at his 30-yard line awaiting the punt. And there's the snap, and Rockwell does punt it away. And it's a high, long punt that is down by Joe Brunson inside the 20-yard line. And so the clock runs down to zeros, but I believe is there a flag down?
There's a flag down in the middle of the field, thrown just as the ball was dived on, and as we heard the bell for halftime. We'll see if that's going to affect anything.
Well,
Coach Brunson's out there in the middle of the field having a discussion.
Yes, still waiting to see the flag still there, and Coach Brunson, I believe he's trying to speak to every official he can come across to. Once again, Coach Brunson, very excitable out there.
Very passionate about the game and passionate about his players.
But he's walking off the sideline. They do pick the flag up. And so the first half will end here. Your score at the half is Baker 7, Vernon 6. We'll take a break here and be back after this.
WTJT would like to send a special thanks to CCSI of Crestview, Florida. It's businesses like you, through all your support, that makes this live coverage of the Baker Gators Friday Night Football possible.
Hi, this is Tony from Baker Feed and Country Store. The Baker Gator football season is back, and we are proud supporters of WTJT's live Baker Gator football program. Baker Feed and Country Store has all your fall food plot, seed, and fertilizer needs, along with corn, rice bran, pellets, and blocks. We carry Justin boots, belts, wallets, and Wrangler jeans. Baker Feed and Country Store is located on the right at the light in downtown Baker and can be reached by phone 537-1000. Again, that's 537-1000. Go Gators!
WTJT and the Baker Gators are proud to recognize Baker Parts in downtown Baker as a sponsor of live coverage of Baker Gator football. Baker Parts has auto parts and hardware for all household needs. Baker Parts is located at 1304 Georgia Avenue in Baker, and their phone number is 537-3131 or 537-4231. Thanks, Danny, and all the staff at Baker Parts for helping to make coverage of Baker Gator football possible on WTJT.
One of our sponsors this year for our live coverage of Baker Gator varsity football is Wise Equipment in Crestview. Wise Equipment specializes in sales and services of Kubota and John Deere mowers and tractors. They carry Steel and John Deere chainsaws, line trimmers, and blowers. Plus, they have John Deere toys. All products are backed by a manufacturer's warranty. Wise Equipment is located at 1147 South Verdon Boulevard in Crestview and can be reached at 850-682-3366. One of our sponsors.
We are proud to acknowledge the support of Whitehurst Powell Funeral Home in Crestview. They are a family-owned and operated funeral home, open 7 days a week, and can handle all funeral needs. Plus, they offer advanced planning. Whitehurst Powell is also home to the Southern Heritage Crematory. They are located at 436 James Lee Boulevard, and the phone number is 850-682-3052. Owner Andy Powell is committed to caring for you in your time of need, and is also proud to help make coverage of Baker Gator football possible.
WTJT would like to thank Harris Fence of Baker, Florida for their support of WTJT and live coverage of Baker Gator football. Harris Fence offers a wide range of fencing services and supplies which include chain link, galvanized or vinyl coated, wood, privacy or picket, PVC, privacy, 3-rail, etc., and ornamental aluminum. They also offer various styles and brands. They do residential, commercial, and industrial work as well as offer free estimates and military and senior citizen discounts. Harris Fence is fully licensed and insured, and they have been serving Okaloosa, Walton, and Santa Rosa County for 21 years with 35 years experience. They are also a member of the Better Business Bureau. Harris Fence is located at 1588 Garrett Mill Road in Baker, Florida, and they can also be contacted by phone at 537-6169. Thanks again to Harris Fence and James and Rebecca Harris for your support of WTJT and our local football team.
And welcome back to Baker, Florida. Inside Doug Griffith Memorial Stadium, Mark Forehand and Seth Forehand with you on this Friday night. The Baker Gators in their second game of the season. They lead Vernon 7-6 at the half. And Seth, what's your analysis of this first half thus far?
Well, what a first half we saw. Just a completely different ball game from what we saw last week. Obviously, Vernon has shown up, and they are a great competition. Obviously, stopping the Gators on their first two possessions, forcing a turnover, just really coming to play tonight for their season opener. The Gators have already had a week to work out some kinks, and so now we see Vernon coming in fresh and just really giving the Gators all they can handle right now with only a 7-6 game. It's very close, but Vernon obviously with Powell, behind Powell and Bush, a couple of great players. Powell just showing up, and obviously he's going to be a playmaker for them this year. Regardless of the outcome of this game, Powell's going to be fun to watch every game that he plays this year. And there's a reason, once again, like we said, that he is highly touted, and a lot of colleges are looking at him, and people on both sides just want to watch him play because he's a fun player to watch.
You're exactly right. I was really impressed by his burst of speed. Didn't really notice it until they put Powell in that wildcat formation for the Yellow Jackets. And every snap, as soon as he hit that ball, it seemed like he was already into the Baker defensive backfield. Of course, for the Gators, Junior McLaughlin doing a great job also in that wildcat. But I noticed McLaughlin, where he would kind of go to the right or the left, Powell just right up the middle, but still, just like I said before, almost mirror images of each other.
Yeah, that was very interesting that, like you said, both of those drives back-to-back were Wildcats straight until they got about to the 20-yard line, and then the quarterbacks came back in, and then both drives ended with touchdown passes. So, yeah, very, very similar mirror effect.
Well, as we mentioned, Coach Matt Brunson had his first head coaching job at Vernon back in 1997. He was there through 2000, and during that time had 35 wins, only 12 losses, 3 district titles, 1 regional title, and a playoff record of 5-3. And that, I believe, just propelled him to the head coaching job at Crestview in 2000. And at Crestview, successful, and then also he came here and has been successful here at Baker for the last 7 years. I think we may have talked about some of his his accomplishments here at Baker. Has had a winning season every year. His worst record was 2012, his second season here. 6 wins, 4 losses still. That's the winning record in any book. But, Coach Brunson began his career right here in Baker back in the mid-1980s when they won 3 straight state championships. In 83, he was a team manager and then played on the 84 and 85 teams. Then went to Troy University, where he won a national title in Division II in 1987 with Troy. And then here at Baker, he came back as a defensive coordinator in 1992, stayed till 96. Won a state title in 93 with the Baker Gators. And then at Crestview, he led them to their first and only state appearance. It was a loss in 2002 to Rockledge, but still an impressive career at Crestview High School. And then here at Baker, been very successful. He's had 5 district titles, 3 regional. In 2016 was the state runner-up, a loss to Pahokee, and his playoff record here is 9-4. So, Coach Brunson has been very successful at every level of high school, and then that one national title in college with Troy University. So there's no reason to believe, no reason to doubt that Coach Brunson and his assistants, his staff, will not lead these boys to that promised land again this year, and who knows, maybe this time bring home the state championship.
That's very feasible, and like you said, Coach Brunson just really has instilled a program of excellence. Everywhere he's gone, he has been successful, and the players buy into that success, and they want to play harder because of his successes and want to contribute to that continued excellence that he's produced. And this program, obviously, Baker has just really come back up in the last few years, obviously behind Coach Brunson as the head coach, and just to see how they've improved and how they continue to work and to get back into the prominence that they were back in the 80s when they were a powerhouse, and even in the early 90s. It's just really fun to see them and to see just what a prolific offense they can be and what a stout defense they can be. So really incredible work by Coach Brunson over these last, how many years now? About 7 years here at Baker. He's in his 7th season. So
in his 8th season.
Or 8th season, excuse me. 7 years total, 8th season now. So, yeah, just very fun to watch, and I'm glad we get to see this tonight.
Yeah, well, as we said, he's had 3 undefeated seasons. The last 5 years, he went 55-8, which is 11 wins a year in average. And in the last 7 years, 68 wins, 15 losses, just too shy of a 10-game average. So, and we've known Matt Brunson, Coach Brunson, for several years, and he'll be the first to say, well, no, that's my assistant coach, it's my staff. Give credit to somebody else, players, fans, parents, just give, credit to somebody else. But, there's no doubt that, he's a success. Real quick, got a halftime score from Niceville. It is Niceville 21, East Ridge 3. We'll take another timeout and be back after this.
This radio ministry relies heavily upon its gracious supporters to survive, like Days Tire Pros in Crestview. In addition to tires with a national warranty, they have a complete car care center, providing brake jobs, front end and rear end alignments, oil change, lube and filter, shocks, belts, air conditioning, and so much more. Days is located where they've been for nearly 4 decades of service on Highway 85 South, which is also home to Pack Rat Mini Storage. The phone number, 850-682-5088. Thanks, Kim and staff, for your support. Days Tire Pros, home of the hassle-free guarantee.
Milligan Assembly of God is a proud sponsor of Baker Gator football. Our service times are on Sundays at 9:30 for Sunday school, 10:30 for morning worship, and 6 p.m. for Sunday night explosion. Our midweek service is on Wednesday nights starting at 7 p.m., and there is something for every age group of the family. You can connect with us at mag.church, and you can check us out on Facebook. From Pastor Mike White and the congregation of Milligan Assembly of God, we want to say,
Go Gators, yeah!
WTJT would like to send a special thanks to CCSI of Crestview, Florida. It's businesses like you, through all your support, that makes this live coverage of the Baker Gators Friday Night Football possible.
Attention WTJT listeners, for us to stay on the air, it takes the support of friends like Baker Tire Center. Baker Tire Center is now a Goodyear tire dealer, but they still have a wide range and variety of all the different brands. From economy to luxury tires, from street to mud tires, they handle all tire needs, including flat repairs, mount and balance, rotate and balance, alignments, brake pads, shocks, tune-ups, AC work, and much more. Baker Tire Center also offers standard synthetic and diesel oil changes, as well as transmission, coolant, power steering, and brake services. Baker Tire Center is located at 5768 Highway 4 in Baker, and the phone number is 850-537-4002. Open Monday through Friday from 7:30 to 5, 7 to 12 on Saturday. Available on Google and Facebook. Baker Tire Center, now a Goodyear tire dealer in Baker, offering 12-month interest-free financing and a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty.
And welcome back to Baker High School inside Doug Griffith Memorial Stadium. Mark Forehand and Seth with you on this Friday night. High school football. It is halftime. It is Baker 7, Vernon 6. And Seth, you have some information for our listeners, I believe.
Yeah, so this is something I wanted to talk about at the beginning of the game. Some keys to the game for each side and something that's actually played out, which has been kind of fun to watch. So some keys for Baker was winning the turnover battle. Last week they had one fumble, and then they also recovered a fumble on defense, so their turnover difference was offset. The total is 0. But tonight you've also seen a couple of fumbles, one fumble that they lost, another couple of fumbles that they did recover, and some bobbled snaps, and we talked about the field possibly playing into that. So it's going to be important for the Gators to try to force some turnovers or, at the minimum, not give up the ball themselves. Number 2, getting the ball to their playmakers. As I mentioned at the start of the game, McLaughlin and Peoples accounted for nearly 60% of the offense and also behind the arm of Peyton Rockwell. So it was really important for the Gators to get McLaughlin into space, let him make some plays. Peoples, obviously, get him on some sweeps. But that's where he got his big yards last week, was just some jet sweeps, getting him in motion and sending him outside, and then he just used his legs after the fact to get upfield, and that's where we saw those big yards that he gained with 3 carries and 115 yards. And the third key component, Rockwell's arm, obviously 5 for 5, and now he's 6 for 6 tonight. He's 6 for 6 on the season, 100% pass rate still, 2 touchdowns, not bad stats for a quarterback. So I want to see some more of his arm, and I think in the second half we might see a little bit more of that mixed in, some play action, and just get him some chances to spread that ball around, get it to guys like Inscore that you mentioned. 99 yards on 3 catches, making some very impressive catches in tight coverage. So look to see some more of that in the second half. And finally, and something that has been a key that has plagued them a little bit, is penalties. Last week, 8 penalties for 40 yards. They had more penalties by 2 than Holmes County, and tonight we've seen some more of that. Some holding calls, some false starts, just a little bit of stuff they're setting them back, shooting themselves in the foot, and having to regain ground that they had already gained before. So it's going to be important in the second half to try to limit those penalties and continue to push forward and not make any of these mental mistakes that are holding them back. So I believe if the Gators can stick to these things, again, the major thing is getting the ball into Rockwell's hand and seeing if we can get him to throw the ball around a little bit and make some big plays with his receivers. For Vernon, winning time of possession, keeping the ball in their hands is going to be very key. The Gators, as we've seen, when they're not making big runs, they're slow and methodical. 5 and 10 yards, which is enough. Every couple of plays getting these first downs, and when they control the clock, that is where their strength lies. So for Vernon, it's going to be important in the second half to keep the ball out of the Gators' hands as much as possible and in the hands of their own offense. Again, limiting the big plays of McLaughlin, of Peoples. It's very important to make sure that they keep an eye on these guys, and they've done well so far. Keeping McLaughlin, he's only had a couple of runs that were maybe just a little bit over 10 yards, so keeping him from these big, long runs like we saw last week has been crucial for their defense. Special teams has also been key. We haven't seen Baker obviously have to kick as much tonight because they haven't scored as much tonight, but the pooch kicks and taking advantage of field position when possible, utilizing just every opportunity that you can when it's a short field. You only have to go 55 yards versus 75 yards. It's important to make the most of those. And lastly, mixing up their plays. Obviously, we've seen that tonight with some wildcat, a lot of play action, some option, a lot of passes. So we're seeing a good, healthy mix of pass and run that are mixing up play calling and keeping the Gators defense on their toes. And obviously that worked in Vernon's last drive where they were able to go in and score a touchdown and nearly tie this game up except by the 1 point. So just some keys to the game that I was thinking about beforehand, and now seeing both teams in action. Now they've played a half against each other. They're going to make some halftime adjustments, and we'll see what kind of adjustments they make and come back in the second half. I think the second half of football is going to be even more exciting than the first.
I think you're right, Seth. And we were just about set for that second half. That's very good. It is halftime. It is Baker 7, Vernon 6. And both bands have performed here for both audiences. And we're going to take this short break and be right back after this.
WTJT would like to thank Jason Norton and Baker Metalworks for allowing us to bring live Baker Gator football coverage to the listeners of WTJT. Baker Metalworks offers a large variety of colors, and they are all Energy Star rated. They have 4 profile styles with 29 and 26 gauge. They also have delivery available, and all of their materials are Florida product approved. Baker Metalworks is located at 5846 Highway 189 in Baker. They can be reached by phone at 850-537-2010. Thanks again to Baker Metalworks for all of your support here at WTJT.
Hi, this is Tony from Baker Feed and Country Store. The Baker Gator football season is back, and we are proud supporters of WTJT's live Baker Gator football program. Baker Feed and Country Store has all your fall food plot, seed, and fertilizer needs, along with corn, rice bran, pellets, and blocks. We carry Justin boots, belts, wallets, and Wrangler jeans. Baker Feed and Country Store is located on the right at the light in downtown Baker and can be reached by phone 537-1000. Again, that's 537-1000. Go Gators!
WTJT and the Baker Gators are proud to recognize Baker Parts in downtown Baker as a sponsor of live coverage of Baker Gator football. Baker Parts has auto parts and hardware for all household needs. Baker Parts is located at 1304 Georgia Avenue in Baker, and their phone number is 537-3131 or 537-4231. Thanks, Danny, and all the staff at Baker Parts for helping to make coverage of Baker Gator football possible on WTJT.
And welcome back to Baker High School. And Seth, just want to say thank you. We've had several positive responses to our broadcast, and I thank you for listening. A little rusty. It's been 5 years, and no excuses. This is our second game of the season, but we thank you for all those that are listening through WTJT 90.1 FM Baker, Jock Jive, and other sources that you're more familiar with. I'm an old timer here. You're up on all this stuff. But
and speaking of that, I will mention one more time. Then we talked about it before halftime. You can go on to YouTube.com online and go to Jock Jive Sports YouTube channel. And if you have any relatives that are out of country or even out of the city, out of reach of radio, they can tune on there and listen and hear about how their families play. And so keep that in mind. That is another source to listen to Baker football.
And we're just about set for this second half kickoff. And, Seth, of course, looking at the schedule, it's really the exact same as last year, just home and away has been swapped around. But next week they'll be playing a team here that I'm not familiar with, is Joshua Christian Academy. And, of course, now Baker has 8 home games this year and 2 away. They'll be at Jay on September 28th, and at South Walton October 5th. So back-to-back away games. But next week they'll be here against Joshua Christian Academy. On the 14th, it is the Rutherford Rams for Panama City. And then on the 21st is Rocky Bayou Christian School. That'll be homecoming for the Gators. Then, as we mentioned, they'll be at Jay and at South Walton. Then the 12th of October, be at home to Chipley. On the 19th of October, be home to Northview. And then on the 2nd of November, they'll close out the regular season with Graceville Tigers here, and that'll be senior night for the Gators. So we encourage you to come out to the stadium and support these Baker Gators. But if you can't, if you have to work or you're out of town or whatever the reason, maybe you're sick in the hospital, I don't know. Anyway, tune in to WTJT, where Seth mentioned. Go to YouTube and to jockjive.com. Well, the Yellow Jackets are set to kick off, and Kawan Powell, who's been a workhorse for the Jackets tonight, will be kicking off to the Gators. And back deep is Junior McLaughlin.
And you can probably anticipate another squib kick here. We'll see.
Oh, there's the whistle, and we're set to begin this second half between Vernon and Baker. Baker 7, Vernon 6. And it is a little, actually, Seth here attempted an onside kick, and it might have went 3 yards.
I think so, before it hit the leg of one of his own upbacks, or one of his gunners, excuse me. So that'll be an illegal procedure. I don't know if they'll give him the option to re-kick or if the Gators will take over possession.
Well, it looks like the offense is on the field, but now had he not touched the ball, it would have been a live ball for the Gators.
Correct.
But it may have did a Vernon a favor there. But against Baker, great field position. They are placing the ball, and the field is kind of messed up in places. It looks like a swamp out there, but it looks like it's about the 43-yard line of Vernon. Just underway in the second half, 7-6 Baker, and the Gators 1st and 10 at the Jacket 43. And Junior McLaughlin from the Wildcat runs off the right side. He breaks one tackle, but not the second tackle, and he's brought down by Marcel Randolph near the 40-yard line. A 3-yard run, second down 7 for the Gators.
Just another decent run, and something that we've seen, obviously a very familiar sight, the Wildcat formation, and Junior McLaughlin finding just a little bit of seam and able to get out to that outside for a minimal gain.
Not sure the reason why Coach Brunson is going with the Wildcat this game, but so far it has paid off for the Gators. 11:25 to go in the third quarter. Again, Wildcat formation for the Gators. Junior McLaughlin back. Awaits the snap and runs to his left. This time he cuts back inside the right. And more positive yardage. He's close to the 35-yard line before being tackled by the Yellow Jackets.
And again, some great work from that left side, the left tackle Taylor Barrow and the left guard Carter Mason, just getting some great push on their blocks, opening up space for McLaughlin to run. And like we've said, obviously the last 2 games, anytime McLaughlin is able to find some space, he's going to use it and he's going to make plays, just like we saw there.
It is 3rd down 3 from the 36-yard line, 10:40 to go in the third quarter. I repeat myself, but it's Wildcat formation with Junior McLaughlin. And again, this time goes off kind of up the middle. And he breaks one tackle. He's still going. He's bouncing off of defenders. And finally takes a whole beehive of Jackets to bring him down. He's still on his feet. They never stopped him. They just had to blow the whistle to make him stop. But what a great run by McLaughlin in his first down inside the 30 at the 28-yard line.
And great work by McLaughlin. Besides his speed, something you'll notice is power. He's very strong, a very strong running back. And that time it looked like that was number 7, Christian Proctor, one of the defensive backs, is also a wide receiver for Vernon, come up and try to make a shoulder tackle, and McLaughlin wasn't happening, just spun off that and able to get the first down. Great run.
It's like a pinball machine just bouncing off the little knobs. McLaughlin on the Wildcat again, and he dives close to the 20-yard line before being tackled by Tyler Ogue for the Jackets.
And another good game by McLaughlin. Again, this is the kind of offense that Baker has, that methodical. When they're not making those huge plays, it's 5 and 10 yards consecutively. And again, McLaughlin there, just straight up the gut. And the Gator offensive line is just kind of having their way with the Vernon defensive line on this drive, giving McLaughlin space, and he's making them pay for it.
5-yard gain is second down 5 from the 22-yard line. Looks like 9:30 to go in this third quarter. McLaughlin, Wildcat, right side. He's got green grass. 10-5. He's just shy of the goal line. Oh, my goodness. He almost got inside the goal line, but a great burst of speed by McLaughlin. And finally shoved out of bounds I believe that's Christian Proctor for the Jackets who saves that touchdown. But he's looks like about the 2-yard line maybe.
And another great run by McLaughlin. You know who set that up was the big guard, number 62, Carter Mason, just getting out there showing the big fella's also got some speed, is making a block upfield, and is able to break McLaughlin loose to get inside the 5. Gators threatening again.
It is 1st and goal. This time they stop McLaughlin. He goes nowhere. Brought down quickly that time by Gabriel Cook for the Jackets. So now 2nd down goal. The ball is still just inside about the 2-yard line, looks like from here. 8:57 to go in this 3rd quarter. 7-6 Baker on top and looking to make it even further. And once again, Wildcat formation. Junior McLaughlin, the senior, in the backfield. In motion goes Eric McQueen. And McLaughlin trying to find the end zone, and he is going to be stopped just shy once again. I don't think, well, now they signal, no signal.
No, looks like he was stopped just short once again, and now we're seeing what the Vernon defense is made of. Right here, they want to try to keep the Gators from scoring, and the D-line is just closing in quick on McLaughlin there. But that was about as close as it could have been to a touchdown.
3rd down goal, ball inside the 1-yard line. 8 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. And again, Wildcat formation with Junior McLaughlin. In motion is McQueen, and it's again McLaughlin. This time he finds the end zone. Touchdown, Baker Gators.
That time the entire Vernon defensive line is thinking McLaughlin's going to go right up the middle. Everybody closes in, sells out to the middle run, and McLaughlin just walks to the outside and steps in the end zone. Easy touchdown for the Gators.
And as we mentioned, Seth, it's one of those deals, I'm going to run the ball. Stop me. Guess which way I'm going.
Exactly.
And he just jukes in, out, outside, inside, up the middle. Does backflips and bounces off of it like a pinball machine. It's just a great run by McLaughlin.
Very fun player to watch.
And now for the extra point attempt is Brian Holly. Your holder is Nathan Fleming. And it's a good snap. Gets the ball down. And it's no good. He had to get it off there quickly. And looks like Holly is slow to get up. He may have been hit by the Vernon defender there. But the kick is no good. So with 7:47 to go in the 3rd quarter, your new score is now Baker 13 and Vernon 6. Back after this.
One of our sponsors this year for our live coverage of Baker Gator varsity football is Wise Equipment in Crestview. Wise Equipment specializes in sales and services of Kubota and John Deere mowers and tractors. They carry Steel and John Deere chainsaws, line trimmers, and blowers. Plus, they have John Deere toys. All products are backed by a manufacturer's warranty. Wise Equipment is located at 1147 South Verdon Boulevard in Crestview and can be reached at 850-682-3366.
And welcome back to Baker High School. A 1-yard run by McLaughlin. The extra point was no good. And your score is now Baker 13, Vernon 6, with 7:47 to go in the 3rd quarter. But Seth, that was an impressive opening drive. The pooch kick by Holly and sails way out of bounds over the bench of the Yellow Jackets. But, what an impressive opening drive this half by the Gators. Plus, ate up nearly 5 minutes on the clock.
And, again, that's what I talked about at halftime was going to be key for Vernon is to make those stops because if Baker has their way, they're going to move slow like that. They're going to eat up a lot of clock with these slow, methodical drives that are getting 5 and 10 yards, and that is exactly what we saw in that first drive. Didn't have hardly maybe not even any negative plays, I don't believe. They were all just a few yards here and there, a couple of bigger ones, and that very last big one that got them inside the 5, and then just a couple runs to get into the end zone. But like you said, eating up nearly half of this 3rd quarter. So a great opening possession for the second half by the Gators.
And this time, Powell in the Wildcat for the Yellow Jackets. 1st and 10 from his 47. He goes nowhere. He's hit quickly in the backfield. And I believe that's Joe Brunson that was in there quickly to make that tackle for the Gators.
Yeah, Joe Brunson and the nose tackle Devin Jordan just quickly getting past their blocks and able to wrap up Powell's legs, which is going to be key to stopping him. And then Joe Brunson just laying the massive hit, putting him down. No gain, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, second down from the Vernon 48-yard line. 7:17 to go in the third quarter. Baker on top, 13-6. Proctor in motion. Powell on the Wildcat. He's trying to get to the outside. He's going nowhere. He's forced out of bounds on the far side. A great stop by that Baker defense.
I like a little bit of miscommunication there between Proctor and Powell as Powell actually bumps off the shoulder pads of his receiver in motion there, and that sets him back a couple yards. And then the Gators, with their obvious speed, are able to get into the backfield and force him out of bounds for about a 2 or 3 yard loss.
It's third down 12 from the, or third down 13 from the 45. And the clock rolls. 6:40 third quarter. Baker on top, 13-6. And now there are 3 receivers split wide to the left, and Davion Bush is back in at quarterback for the Yellow Jackets. There's the snap. Bush back to pass. Good protection. Gets the ball off. Proctor had it right in his hands and couldn't hang on to it. And so now it's 4th and about 13 for the Yellow Jackets.
And Proctor wide open in the middle of the field there, trying to run a little post route, finds that gap, and if he's able to hold on to that ball, that's a first down, but it just slips through his fingers. But that doesn't negate a great pass by Bush, who was once again under pressure almost immediately as he went back. This Gator defensive line is just so quick coming off their blocks. So a great pass, an almost catch, and now a 4th down. That's a great showing by the Gator defense.
6:19 third quarter, and back to pump for the Jackets is Nick Campbell. Now, there's no one deep for the Gators. They may have been anticipating a fake, but it is a punt. It will bounce at the Baker 25 and roll to the 21-yard line. So the Gators score on their first possession. They stop Vernon on their first possession. Third quarter, Baker 13, Vernon 6.
We are proud to acknowledge the support of Whitehurst Powell Funeral Home in Crestview. They are a family-owned and operated funeral home, open 7 days a week, and can handle all funeral needs. Plus, they offer advanced planning. Whitehurst Powell is also home to the Southern Heritage Crematory. They are located at 436 James Lee Boulevard, and the phone number is 850-682-3052. Owner Andy Powell is committed to caring for you in your time of need, and is also proud to help make coverage of Baker Gator football possible.
And welcome back to Baker High School, and have this score for you. Last week's opponent, Holmes County. This week they are playing Bozeman from Panama City, and they are up 7-0 at the half. So Holmes County 7, Bozeman nothing at the half. And the last score was from Niceville up 21-3 over East Ridge. Here is 13-6 Baker. 1st and 10 from their 22. Rockwell back at quarterback. Hands off to McLaughlin, and McLaughlin just took a whole hive of Jackets with him to the ground and picks up about 4 yards there, Seth. Brings up 2nd down 6 for the Gators.
Another strong run from McLaughlin, and good to see Peyton Rockwell back in the offense, and now the Gators are kind of mixing up some play calling, so we'll see some different looks from the Gators on this drive, but don't be surprised to see the ball in the hands of McLaughlin again.
5:35, Rockwell fumbles the ball. It's loose, but he may have recovered his own fumble, but a close call there for the Gators deep in their territory at the 25-yard line.
And again, the field has been kind of a weapon against both teams tonight with a lot of slippery snaps and some bobbled snaps, obviously. So good recovery there by Peyton Rockwell to prevent the costly turnover in their own territory.
He loses a couple of yards. It is now 3rd down and about 7 from the 25. 5 minutes to go in this third quarter. Baker up 13-6. And Seth, with Vernon's white jerseys, yeah, you can see how dirty and muddy the field is. Several players, including Kawan Powell, his jersey almost covered in mud. Now Rockwell back to pass. Good protection. He's under pursuit. Throws the ball deep downfield for McLaughlin, and it's incomplete. He was well covered there by number 8, River Basinger. But what a great that's his actually first incompletion of the season. But Rockwell under pressure does get the ball off, and McLaughlin and Basin, you're just fighting for it back there in the defensive backfield.
And a great job by Basinger that time to turn his head, look for the ball, makes contact. He made a lot of contact with McLaughlin there, but he was also looking for the ball. So some fans here might have wanted a pass interference, but that was a great defensive play to break that ball up. But still an outstanding pass from Rockwell under pressure, able to escape it and make that pass downfield to at least give his receiver a chance.
It is 4th and 7 from the Baker 25, and Peyton Rockwell back in punt formation, and Proctor back for the Jackets. And he just does get the punt off. Proctor trying to pick it up. He fumbles it, and it's recovered by Baker. Proctor tried to scoop that ball up, and that was number 10, Trey Comas, who put a lick on him and gets the ball for the Gators.
Yeah, Proctor just tries to fill that punt thinking maybe he can get it and make a quick move to make one of the gunners miss, and he does not make anybody miss. Doesn't quite get to that ball in time. Barely gets to the ball, gets his hands on enough to muff it, and then takes that lick from Colemetz before people is able to fall on the ball. Now the Gators got the ball right back. It's a great job by some special teams.
I'm sure that's how they planned it, too.
Absolutely.
It is 1st and 10, Baker, ball at the Vernon 46-yard line. 4:26 to go in the third quarter. Baker on top, 13-2-6. Wildcat formation again this drive. And McLaughlin, little stutter step there, and he's out near the 40-yard line, still on his feet. And now a flag comes in, a little unnecessary roughness. The whistle blown, and he is thrown down on the field. And that was number 11, Marcel Randolph, who did not stop when the whistle blew and draws the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. And add that, with the 5 yards that he had picked up, and now it's 15 more.
If you're Vernon, you got to realize here that Baker doesn't need any help getting yards, and a free 15 there is definitely not what you want. After the muff punt, Baker's got all the momentum already with a 7-point lead here, and now threatening once again in Jacket territory. And so we'll see what happens with this Vernon defense if they buckle down here and can come up with a stop.
1st and 10, Baker at the Vernon 26-yard line. 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. They do lead 13-6. McLaughlin, Wildcat, right side, trying to break one tackle and finally gets some help. The Yellow Jackets do. And McLaughlin is knocked out of bounds near the 25. Not a very big gain. Tackle made by Wayne Potter and several other Jackets.
Now he's trying to get outside there again, following some good blocks inside, and that time Vernon was just able to read it quick, get outside, and force him out of bounds before he's able to do any real damage.
Yeah, only about a 2-yard pickup for McLaughlin. Is 2nd down at 8. Ball placed just inside the 24-yard line. Clock rolling at 3:15 third quarter. And now Peyton Rockwell is back in at quarterback under center Oglesby, and hands off to Derek Peoples. And Peoples picks up positive yards. He's close to the 20-yard line before being tackled. Again, that is Wayne Potter on the tackle for Vernon.
And again, a nice run by Peoples there, just following some good blocks, just taking whatever the defense will give him right there. And the time defense gave him a good 7 yards to bring up a 3rd and short.
It is 3rd and short. Ball is near the 16-yard line, looks like, from here. 2:35 to go in this third quarter. Baker 13, Vernon 6. Rockwell under center. Hands off to Peoples again. And Peoples, he was held up at the line, Seth, and he breaks through. He's down to the 10-yard line. That's a Baker first down. And tackle again is made this time by number 5, Nico Campbell for the Jackets.
That's why one of the most important things besides ball control, besides making sure that ball is nice and wrapped up, is keeping those feet moving until that whistle blows. And that time Peoples looks like he's going to get stopped, keeps churning, keeps moving, and is able to get a few extra yards and get a 1st and goal for the Gators.
It is 1st and goal. The ball just inside the 10-yard line, or just shy of it now. It's timeout for Vernon. 2:09 third quarter. Baker 13, Vernon 6.
WTJT would like to thank Harris Fence of Baker, Florida for their support of WTJT and live coverage of Baker Gator football. Harris Fence offers a wide range of fencing services and supplies which include chain link, galvanized or vinyl coated, wood, privacy or picket, PVC, privacy, 3-rail, etc., and ornamental aluminum. They also offer various styles and brands. They do residential, commercial, and industrial work as well as offer free estimates and military and senior citizen discounts. Harris Fence is fully licensed and insured, and they have been serving Okaloosa, Walton, and Santa Rosa County for 21 years with 35 years experience. They are also a member of the Better Business Bureau. Harris Fence is located at 1588 Garrett Mill Road in Baker, Florida, and they can also be contacted by phone at 537-6169. Thanks again to Harris Fence and James and Rebecca Harris for your support of WTJT and our local football team.
And welcome back to Baker real quick. It is third quarter in Niceville, and Niceville is up 35-3 over East Ridge. Here is 13-6 Baker, 1st and 10, Gators inside the 10. And it is Peoples on the carry. He fumbles the ball into the end zone. It's still loose. And the Gators recover. Trying to see who that is. I believe that's who recovered for the Gators there.
It looks like it was fumbled into the end zone and out the back of out the side of the end zone. So that's going to actually be a touchback for Vernon. Ball's going to change hands, and it'll be 1st and 10 from the 20 for Vernon.
Well, that's an interesting series of events there for the Gators. Peoples, he got popped pretty hard, and like you say, he fumbles in the end zone. I thought that Eric McQueen recovered for the Gators, but apparently, like you said, it was already out of bounds. It looks like Vernon made a touch, but wow. So Vernon, a break here. Their defense stands, and it's 1st and 10. Vernon at their own 20-yard line. 1:50 to go to third quarter. They're down 13-6 to the Gators. Bush on the shotgun snap, bobbles it, picks it up, but he goes nowhere. Brought down quickly by Joe Brunson, who's in that backfield.
And again, just a lot of low snaps, not able to get the ball off the ground with this really soggy field, and almost contributed to another turnover there. So fortunate for Vernon to recover that, but now they'll be faced with a 2nd and long.
We're down to 1:25 left in this third quarter. As you mentioned, Seth, Vernon now facing 2nd down, 13, back at their 17-yard line. Again, Bush drops back into shotgun formation, looking to pass. He's going deep downfield, and he overthrows his receiver. It was intended for Chiron Green, but well over his head. And for the defense was Brad Inscore for the Gators.
And at that time, Bush was trying to hit his receiver Chiron Green there on a deep out route. Might have been some miscommunication between the receiver and the quarterback, and Green just runs like he's running a streak route and doesn't come back to the ball on the sideline. So an incompletion here, and now they'll have another 3rd and long. We'll see if they might break out the passing game some more and try to regain some yards.
Over in Bonifay is now Holmes County 7, Bozeman 7 in the third quarter. And here it's 13-6 Baker, a timeout by Vernon. Back after this.
This radio ministry relies heavily upon its gracious supporters to survive, like Days Tire Pros in Crestview. In addition to tires with a national warranty, they have a complete car care center, providing brake jobs, front end and rear end alignments, oil change, lube and filter, shocks, belts, air conditioning, and so much more. Days is located where they've been for nearly 4 decades of service, on Highway 85 South, which is also home to Pack Rat Mini Storage. The phone number, 850-682-5088. Thanks, Kim and staff, for your support. Days Tire Pros, home of the hassle-free guarantee.
And welcome back to Baker. After a Vernon timeout, we're back set for live action. 3rd down and 13 for the Jackets, back at their 17-yard line. A minute 6 to go in the third quarter. Baker 13 and Vernon 6. We mentioned Holmes County and Bozeman tied at 7. And Niceville up 35-3 in the third quarter. Shotgun formation for Bush. Drops back to pass. Going deep, downfield, and in and out of the hands of his receiver. And that was Kawan Powell, I believe. And back on the coverage was Brad Inscore.
And a favorable matchup there for Powell on Inscore. Just some one-on-one man coverage. Quarterback trying to make a throw where only his receiver can catch it, and that time it was in Powell's hands, just not quite able to bring in that obviously pretty wet and soggy ball.
Brings up 4th and 13 for the Yellow Jackets from their 17-yard line. 58 seconds to play in the third quarter. Baker 13, Vernon 6. And now back to punt for the Jackets is Nick Campbell. And McLaughlin at the 50-yard line awaits the punt. And it's going to be well short of McLaughlin. Rolls to the 45-yard line. And so once again, Seth, the Gators in great field position with 48 seconds to go in the third quarter. And the Gators on top 13-6.
And a great stand by the Gator defense there, having the little miscue on offense, and now suddenly they're back on the field. And they make just a great stand there. Obviously, that time with the secondary doing some great work, and the D-line getting in the backfield, making some more great stops.
So looking like, trying to see, Peyton is on the sideline, so they will run the Wildcat with Junior McLaughlin. And also in the backfield is Sean McLeod. It is McLaughlin on the direct snap. Still going. He's to the 40, the 35, and close to the 30-yard line before being tackled by Demetrius Walston. But a great run once again by Junior McLaughlin. It's a first down run. He's to the 32-yard line.
McLaughlin just going straight up the middle again, and that O-line for the Gators just providing a massive hole that he's able to run through. Gets into the secondary. Looks like he's going to be stopped. Keeps those legs going. Is able to pull out a few more yards and get an easy first down for the Gators. And then a personal foul.
Yeah, they just push forward, and, that great run is aided also by this penalty. And so they run the ball down to, looks like it's about the 17-yard line maybe.
Looks like.
It's a little difficult to see with all the mud, everything. Some of the yard markers are being kind of covered up or just washed away. It is 1st and 10. Baker will call it the 17-yard line with 20 seconds to play. Wildcat formation. Junior McLaughlin, right side, finds a hole. He's to the 10, the 5, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Baker Gators. So they score with just 8 seconds to play in this third quarter, but 2 touchdowns in the third quarter, and a great run by McLaughlin.
Yeah, it was.
Well, hang on, Seth.
Oh, we have a flag.
There's a flag, and he's pointing toward the Baker Gators, so no touchdown. And Vernon knows how that feels. Their only touchdown first time was nullified by a penalty, and they did get it the second time, so holding on the Gators, and that could be why McLaughlin had such a great run.
And that is possible. That, as we mentioned last week, some of these great runs that are brought back were only great runs because of that one hold, and that might have been what we had there.
They placed the ball at the 20-yard line, and it's 1st and 12, looks like. 8 seconds to play. Now Rockwell's back in there at quarterback and hands off to Derek Peoples. And Derek Peoples is down to the 10-yard line. And this time, Seth, Derek Peoples, he wraps that ball with both arms, both hands. I'm not going to fumble this time. And he gets down to the 10-yard line. That's the end of the third quarter. At the end of 3, your score, Baker 13, Vernon 6, back after this.
Milligan Assembly of God is a proud sponsor of Baker Gator football. Our service times are on Sundays at 9:30 for Sunday school, 10:30 for morning worship, and 6 p.m. for Sunday night explosion. Our midweek service is on Wednesday nights starting at 7 p.m. and there is something for every age group of the family. You can connect with us at mag.church. And you can check us out on Facebook. From Pastor Mike White and the congregation of Milligan Assembly of God, we want to say,
Go Gators, yeah!
Attention WTJT listeners. For us to stay on the air, it takes the support of friends like Baker Tire Center. Baker Tire Center is now a Goodyear tire dealer, but they still have a wide range and variety of all the different brands. From economy to luxury tires, from street to mud tires, they handle all tire needs, including flatten repairs, mount and balance, rotate and balance, alignments, brake pads, shocks, tune-ups, AC work, and much more. Baker Tire Center also offers standard synthetic and diesel oil changes. as well as transmission, coolant, power steering, and brake services. Baker Tire Center is located at 5768 Highway 4 in Baker, and the phone number is 850-537-4002. Open Monday through Friday from 7:30 to 5, 7 to 12 on Saturday. Available on Google and Facebook. Baker Tire Center, now a Goodyear tire dealer in Baker, offering 12-month interest-free financing and a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty.
And welcome back to Baker. Derek Peoples on the carry, and Peoples gets maybe a yard or so. It's going to bring up third down. Or he actually gains a couple of yards. Third down and about a yard or two for the Gators inside the Vernon 10-yard line.
Another good run by Peoples, just right up the gut, right into the heart of that Vernon defense. And now Vernon faced with this third and short. We'll see if they're able to pin their ears back, come after this run.
And Peyton Rockwell remains quarterback for the Gators. And hands off to Derek Peoples, who cuts inside, outside, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Derek Peoples and the Baker Gators.
And Peoples with another great run. Same situation, straight up the gut once again. Uses his shiftiness and his obvious speed. Bursts through that hole and scores a touchdown for the Gators. And now they're starting to widen this gap here in the second half.
Well, Derek wanted to make sure that he did not fumble that ball again. And he makes up for that earlier mistake, but a great run. Great blocking by that offensive line. And now it's 19-6, and they appear to be going for the 2-point conversion to make it back to a two-touchdown lead. And looks like Peyton Rockwell will be under center. McLaughlin in the backfield along with Kenny Williams at that fullback position. Now a flag comes in, and it's going to be delay a game against the Gators. And Seth, we have seen that time after time tonight, a delay a game. You got the play clock right there in front of you, but I know sometimes there's some confusion anyway. So that's going to back them up 5 yards, but they are still going for the 2-point conversion apparently.
It looks like, and obviously trying to get back up to that 21-point game. So we'll see what they do here on about 7 yards out.
Nathan Fleming comes into the huddle late, now goes out wide to the left. Peyton Rockwell under center. And he will drop back to pass, rolls right, looking now. He's going to keep the ball, dives for the end zone, but he is stopped well short of the end zone by that tough Vernon defense. Nonetheless, the score is Baker 19, Vernon 6. Back after this.
WTJT would like to send a special thanks to CCSI of Crestview, Florida. It's businesses like you, through all your support, that makes this live coverage of the Baker Gators Friday Night Football possible.
WTJT would like to thank Jason Norton and Baker Metalworks for allowing us to bring live Baker Gator football coverage to the listeners of WTJT. Baker Metalworks offers a large variety of colors, and they are all Energy Star rated. They have 4 profile styles with 29 and 26 gauge. They also have delivery available, and all of their materials are Florida product approved. Baker Metalworks is located at 5846 Highway 189 in Baker. They can be reached by phone at 850-537-2010. Thanks again to Baker Metalworks for all of your support here at WTJT.
And welcome back to Baker. 11-16 left in this ball game, and it's Baker 19, Vernon 6. Push kick by Holly, and this time it stays inbounds, and it's taken by Proctor at his 40. He's going to try to run it back. He's to the 40. He's running across the field instead of up the field, and finally brought down near midfield. Looks like Brad Inscore Nathan Fleming on the tackle for the Gators. So that's one of the few times we've seen a decent return on a push kick. About 10 yards or so by Proctor for the Jackets.
Yeah, about 10 yards forward, but about 30 yards lateral. So he had to run all the way to the outside to try to find some space, and he was able to. So, again, like I mentioned before, special teams is going to be key for them to stay in this ball game now. And so they'll start with good field position, only about 47 yards away from the end zone.
That's true. He started from the Baker sideline and ran all the way to the Jacket sideline before going upfield. 1st and 10, Vernon at the Baker 47-yard line. Fumble on the snap. Bush trying to get back on. It's a shotgun snap. And, Seth, we have seen several miscues on the shotgun snap tonight for the Yellow Jackets.
And that's something we talked about because of this wet ground. It's just hard for the center to get a good grip on that ball and shoot it back to keep it off the ground. At time it just skirts along the ground, tries to get in Bush's hands. And, again, lucky for him, he's able to fall on it just in time before, I believe that was Trey Colmetz coming on the side that was in the backfield trying to dive on that ball as well.
It's an 8-yard loss back to the Vernon 45-yard line. Second down, 18. 10:25 left in this ball game, and Baker's up top by a couple of touchdowns, 19-6. And again, the Jackets stay in that shotgun formation with Davion Bush at quarterback. And Vernon, the receiver, that's number 1, Elijah Neal. He wanted to get a good head start, and he jumped about 5 yards forward before the ball was even snapped.
And they'll get you for that every single time. So that'll drop them another 5 yards back. It's going to be a second and very long.
Second and about 23. Yeah, he was definitely faster than the speed of sound. He was moving before the ball was even snapped. But it's funny to us, but not to Vernon. 10 minutes to go in this ball game. Now they face second and 23 back at their 40. And Bush pitches out to Powell. He gets by one defender and finally shoved out of bounds by Trey Colmetz back around the 45-yard line.
And the defensive end, Eric McQueen, gave him a good run, just about had a hand on him, but Powell just showing just a little bit more superior speed, as he should as a running back. He's able to get to the outside and get upfield a little bit. Still going to be a little bit short of the first down, it looks like.
Well, it's going to go for naught. Yeah, I'm not sure what the call was exactly. Didn't really recognize that. He was holding personal foul on the Yellow Jackets. And apparently it was going against number 1, Elijah Neal. He's pleading his case, but to no avail. And so nullifies a very impressive run by Kawan Powell, but now it's going to go back to the Vernon 34. And now they're facing second down and close to 30 yards, Seth. 9:45 left in the ball game. Baker 19 and Vernon 6. And Bush shotgun. He keeps the ball this time, breaks through a couple of tackles, and he is dragged down to the 42-yard line.
And Bush trying to run a little speed option there to that left side. Some of the Baker defensive line closing on the running back, so Bush is able to keep it and try to get up that sideline, able to get a few yards back, but it's still going to be third and a good mile.
Yes, sir, it is. Looks like it's about 22 yards for the first down. They placed the ball at the Baker 42, and apparently another flag, but it is declined this time. It is third down and about 20 yards for the Jackets. Clock is rolling at 9:20 left in the ball game. 19-6 Baker on top. And again, looks like Bush will stay in that shotgun formation. Drops back to pass. Good protection. There is some pressure and dumps the ball off to Powell, but he drops it in his incomplete pass. Now fourth and about 20 for the Jackets.
It looks like Bush was trying to set up the screen there. The O-line lets their guys come through as they're trying to move into a position to block. That time the ball just not quite into the hands of Powell like it needed to be. And now it'll bring up a fourth and long, and the Gators with another stout showing on this possession.
Nick Campbell back to punt for the Yellow Jackets, and for the Gators, it's Junior McLaughlin. He stands about his 30-yard line. 9:02 to go in the ball game. A high snap. Campbell gets it down, gives up a line drive punt that McLaughlin will let just roll inside the 25-yard line, and it's down there by the Jackets. So as you mentioned, Seth, another stout defensive stand by the Gators, and they had the ball in decent field position. It's right on the 20-yard line, looks like, from here. 8:55 to go in the ball game. Baker 19 and Vernon 6.
And something we mentioned earlier as well is Vernon not being able to utilize that great field position, starting at Baker's 47 and then just pushing themselves back between penalties and just some negative plays, the bad snaps, and so kind of shooting themselves in the foot and giving the ball right back to the Gators, who have a nice 13-point lead and could feasibly take off another 5 minutes off this clock with the way their offense has been working tonight.
1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. And it's the Wildcat for Junior McLaughlin. Runs to his right. He's hit in the backfield and is going to be thrown back for a loss by Vernon. They may give him his forward progress to about the 20-yard line, which will still make it 2nd down and 10 for the Gators. 8:38 to go in the ball game.
Yeah, that time he's trying to find any sort of space, and Vernon just burst through their blocks and hit him almost as soon as he gets the ball. And actually, it looks like he might have lost about a half yard, maybe about a second, 10.5 or 11.
Looks like they will stay in that Wildcat formation. He's got 2 receivers split to the right. That's Peoples and Inscore. And now McLaughlin looking to pass. And he throws it to Peoples, and it throws it right at his feet. Falls incomplete. McLaughlin may not be the best passer the Gators have, but it was a great effort.
But it's something new. It's something different there, and it looks like we got another score from Niceville, leading Eastridge 42-10 near the end of the 4th quarter. So Niceville, they're going to come away with a Week 2 win.
Looks like it. And here it's 19-6 Baker with 8:07 to go in the ball game.
But I like the play call there, and it looks like we did have a penalty on that play as well. It's marching him back about 10 yards, possibly a holding on the play.
And no offense to Junior. He's a great guy, a great running back, but, sometimes your running backs don't make great passers. But anyway, a lot of weather conditions. Anyway, the ball just kind of drops there at people's feet.
Right.
And it brings up 2nd down, and it looks like a 2nd down and about 25, the ball back inside the Baker 10-yard line. And now Peyton Rockwell is back at quarterback under center, and another whistle and another flag. Do the officials get paid per flag, Seth? Just curious, just saying.
It would look that way tonight, but now an offside, so that'll give the Gators 5 yards back that they lost on the previous possession, or the previous play, excuse me.
Yeah. So it looks like it looks to be about 2nd down and 15 or so. Now the clock is rolling. It is running. It's down to 7:50 left in this ball game. And again, Peyton under center. And he keeps the ball and he runs to his right, but he goes nowhere. Several defenders there, led by Nico Campbell and also Gabriel Cook for the Yellow Jackets.
And a great job by Campbell and Cooks to recognize the quarterback keeper there, close on him quick, don't let him get hardly any yardage. Good stop by the Vernon defense.
So now it's 3rd down and about 14 yards to go. The ball is resting about the 15-yard line of the Gators. But, Seth, you mentioned using that clock up, and the clock now down to 7:10 left in the ball game, and it's 3rd down and 13 or 14 yards. And, again, under center, they're just trying to run that ball, trying to get, I guess, away from their goal line and, try to pin Vernon back, because now they face 4th down and about 13 yards on that quarterback keeper by Rockwell.
We got one more flag.
And this one goes against the Yellow Jackets. It's a 5-yard penalty. And now they start the clock. We are under 7 minutes to go in the ball game. And now the Gators are facing 3rd down and about 6, which is a lot more manageable.
Certainly.
Now Rockwell hands off. Rockwell hands off to Peoples off the right side, and he gets a couple of yards. I was watching the block by McLaughlin, and I believe that was Dustin Oglesby putting a double team over there on Chiron Green, and I lost track of the play there. But now it's 4th and 4, and Peyton Rockwell under center. I believe they're trying to draw Vernon off sides. 6:15 to go in the ball game. Now Peyton looks to the sideline. He's got 10 seconds on the play clock. So they need to get something going here. But Peyton under center. In the backfield is McLaughlin and Peoples. And now the play clock goes to 0, and it's going to be delayed game on the Gators. Now, that may have been, on purpose, intentional there.
I believe you're right. Taking as much time off the clock as possible to set themselves up for the punt.
We're at exactly 6 minutes left in the ball game. Baker 19, Vernon 6. 6 minutes to play. And now it's fourth and about 8 or 9 yards. And the ball back near the Baker 20-yard line. And now Rockwell will drop back into punt formation. And Kawan Powell is at midfield awaiting the punt. There's the snap. Rockwell gets off a nice punt that will bounce right at the 50-yard line and roll into Vernon territory down to the 43-yard line. So Vernon, they stop the Gators this time, and they get good field position at their 43-yard line. 5:45 to left in the ball game, and it's Baker 19, Vernon 6.
And so this is where Vernon's going to have to be very, very conscious of the clock. So with just under 6 minutes, down by 2 scores, they're going to have to put together some pretty quick drives if they want to potentially win this ball game or send it into overtime.
And one more score from Niceville. It's a final score, and Niceville has won 42-17 over East Ridge. So they go 1-1 on this young season. So congratulations to the Eagles.
Well, something to add to that. So Niceville will actually be 2-0. So I read in the news this week, actually, that Lincoln had to forfeit that game as they played a JV player who was their place kicker. He played the Thursday night for the JV, and then he played the Friday night for the varsity, which is illegal by some statutes that are in the the high school football rules. So that win is negated, and now Niceville will be 2-0.
Well, that was an easy win then. Good news for the Niceville Eagles. So they are 2-0 in this young season. Here it is 19-6 Baker with 5:45 left in the ball game. Vernon 1st and 10 from their 42. Shotgun formation. Now Bush goes downfield, hits this man. It's a nice catch by Proctor, and he's hit immediately by Derek Peoples. And a great tackle, but it's a first down for the Yellow Jackets at the Baker 48-yard line.
And a great catch by Proctor on that deep slant route. Bush is able to fake that play action nicely, gets the defenders to look in the backfield just long enough to catch Proctor and hit him for a first down.
5:35, 1st and 10. And now Bush hands off to Kawan Powell, who is down to the Baker 42-yard line. Tackle made by Eric McQueen. And I believe also Joe Brunson or Rockwell was on that tackle as well.
And Powell just running outside that tackle again, showing his speed, trying to get upfield and trying to gain as many yards as possible as quickly as possible at this point.
5-yard run, 2nd down 5 from the Baker 42. And now Bush looking to throw. He's going to be sacked and fumbles the ball, but it's recovered by Vernon near the 42-yard line. And very alertly is Austin Angerbrandt, who recovers for the Yellow Jackets near the 42. So no gain, but it's 3rd down for the Vernon Yellow Jackets.
But a great job by that Baker defense. A great time to bring some pressure, gets a blitz, and is able to get past that left tackle on get past the left tackle and get into the backfield, catching Bush from the blind side and able to hit him hard and force that fumble. But good looking out by that offensive lineman to dive on the ball quickly, retain possession, and keep their hopes of driving down and scoring alive.
And the clock is rolling forward. 20. Vernon really not showing very much, trying to hurry up and get on the ball here. And now take a timeout.
Their final one.
4:12 left in this ball game. Baker 19, Vernon 6. Back after this.
Hi, this is Tony from Baker Feed and Country Store. The Baker Gator football season is back, and we are proud supporters of WTJT's live Baker Gator football program. Baker Feed and Country Store has all your fall food plot, seed, and fertilizer needs, along with corn, rice bran, pellets, and blocks. We carry Justin boots, belts, wallets, and Wrangler jeans. Baker Feed and Country Store is located on the right at the light in downtown Baker and can be reached by phone 537-1000. Again, that's 537-1000. Go Gators!
And welcome back to Baker High School. 19-6. The Gators on top of Vernon. 4:12 left in the ball game, and Vernon no sense of urgency here. Now facing third down and about 6 from the 42. Another fumble on the play, and I think this time the Baker Gators recover, and that's big Kenny Williams with the fumble recovery for the Gators. So this time the turnover goes in Baker's favor, and what a great play by Kenny Williams. 4:06 to go in the ball game.
And it was bound to happen eventually because we've already seen several times tonight where those snaps have just not been able to get off the ground and not been able to get into Bush's hands. And that time, once again, not able to hold on to it. And Kenny Williams with the great awareness to dive on that ball, get it back for the Gators. And now, with about 4 minutes left, this is cruising time for the Gators. We'll see if they're able to hold on to it and close this game out.
It is 1st and 10 Baker from their 48. And looks like, once again, the Wildcat formation for Junior McLaughlin, who runs right up the middle. And he gets close to the 50-yard line before being tackled by Nick Campbell of the Yellow Jackets.
And this is exactly what you expect and what the Gators are known for. And it's just power runs right up the middle. And this is the point in the game, especially where these last couple minutes just trying to run that clock out, but still have successful runs. And McLaughlin, again, there, just some decent pickup. Not obviously not a negative play, just a decent few yards to get them going and to keep that clock running.
No timeouts for the Yellow Jackets, and the clock is rolling. 3:30 left in the ball game. McLaughlin on the Wildcat formation once again gets across the 45 to about the 43-yard line, and he nearly dropped that ball. Well, it was a quick, fast snap by Oglesby, and McLaughlin had to catch it in a heartbeat and gets across the 43. And the man that tackled McLaughlin is actually down on the field. I believe that's Proctor who tackled him, but McLaughlin made him pay for it, and he's on the field in pain. We'll take a timeout with 3:10 to go in the ball game. 19-6, Baker on top.
WTJT and the Baker Gators are proud to recognize Baker Parts in downtown Baker as a sponsor of live coverage of Baker Gator football. Baker Parts has auto parts and hardware for all household needs. Baker Parts is located at 1304 Georgia Avenue in Baker, and their phone number is 537-3131 or 537-4231. Thanks, Danny, and all the staff at Baker Parts for helping to make coverage of Baker Gator football possible on WTJT.
And welcome back to Baker. And Christian Proctor gets up and on his own power and trots off the field. So good to see that he's not hurt. But he took a vicious hit by McLaughlin. It is now third down and about 2. The ball at the 44-yard line. McLaughlin, Wildcat, takes the snap. He's got the first down and more inside the 40-yard line. A tackle by Elijah Neal for the Yellow Jackets.
And again, some great blocking on that left side of the Gator line. Taylor Barrow, Carter Mason, and then the split in there, Sean McLeod, able to get a nice block, provide a little hole for McLaughlin to get upfield, get another first down, and the Gators are looking like they might be able to close this one out in the last 3 minutes.
It is 1st and 10, Baker at the Vernon 37-yard line, and as Seth mentioned, 2:45 and counting. No timeouts for Vernon. Baker all 3, but I don't see them using them here. Again, Wildcat formation for McLaughlin. He fumbles the ball and falls on the back of the 43-yard line. And, we've seen him struggle with a few snaps, and this time it gets away from him, but he falls on the ball. But it's a loss back to about the 43-yard line. And that'll bring up 2nd down, 15 for the Gators.
It has definitely been a night of difficulty holding on to snaps. And so there, once again, McLaughlin just about lost that snap. Fortunately, again, for him, he's able to recover it, and the Gators retain possession.
And the clock keeps rolling. we're at the 2-minute warning now for this game. Baker on top, 19-6. And repeat myself, McLaughlin in the Wildcat formation. Takes the snap. It's a good clean snap this time. Runs off the left side, getting some blocks there from Sean McLeod, and he bullies his way inside the 30-yard line. Tackle is made by Tyler Ogue for the Yellow Jackets.
It's more a great running from McLaughlin. This is the kind of back you want to have, especially in these situations. One that at the end of the game you can use him to just get these several big chunk yard plays just to make sure that your team holds the ball for as long as possible. And it looks like in this final minute, the Gators are going to have to run a couple more plays to end this one.
Right. Sorry. Third down and 11 from the Jacket 39-yard line. And we're down to the final 60 seconds of this ball game. McLaughlin in the Wildcat takes a snap, runs to his right. And he's to the 35-yard line of the Vernon Yellow Jackets. Getting some great blocks by that offensive line, as Seth mentioned, time after time. At that time, Zach Mason providing a nice block. And McLaughlin gets down to the 36-yard line, where it's going to be fourth. And about 6 yards to go.
Yeah, just another great run from McLaughlin. As we've seen all night, just from this Wildcat position, it is literally a formation where you say, you know what we're going to do. We're going to run it. Which way are we going to run, and can you stop it? And the answer has been an emphatic no tonight for the Vernon defense, as McLaughlin has just time and time again been able to pick up some great yards. And they're going to take a delay of game. Baker's going to take a timeout before the delay of game. With 12 seconds left, they'll have to run one final play after this timeout.
And Peyton Rockwell comes into the game. He had been on the sideline, so this final 12 seconds, looks like Peyton Rockwell will get one more snap at quarterback for this game. And it is 19-6. And real quick, next week, back at home, back here at Doug Griffith, to face Joshua Christian Academy. And if you can't be here, we invite you to come out and support these Gators in the stands. But if you can't, for whatever reason, tune in to WTJT 90.1 FM. We'll broadcast the game live. And Seth, where else can they find this game at next week?
You can go to Jock Jive Sports on YouTube.com. It's Jock Jive's personal channel on YouTube, and listen to us live there as well. If you're out of state, out of country, anywhere, as long as you have access to the internet, you can listen to football.
And McLaughlin takes the direct snap, tries to run around and run the clock out. And that's going to do it here. We're down to the final 3 seconds. And it is the clock, stops now at 3.6 seconds.
So Vernon will have to run one final play, as Baker wasn't quite able to run out that last 12 seconds. So Vernon here will probably take the victory formation in and of itself and go ahead and take a knee and end this game.
It has slipped my mind that was fourth down for the Gators, but yeah. So 3 seconds to go. It is Baker 19, Vernon 6. No chance of winning, I wouldn't think, but they may throw one downfield and just see what happens. The play clock is at 17 seconds. It is 1st and 10. Vernon, the ball is at their 36-yard line with 3 seconds to play. And the play clock down to 5, and Vernon still looks confused out there, Seth, and they can't take a timeout. They'll take a delay of game. And it is a delay of game on the Vernon Yellow Jackets. And they'll march the ball back to the 31-yard line. And now it's 1st and 15 and still 3 seconds to play. But the safe thing here, I would say, would just take a knee and call it a night.
I would agree. Don't risk injury to any of your star players. Just go ahead and
But it's an empty backfield with Bush, and he's looking to go downfield. Hits his man. That is Shiro Green. And he is dropped at the 50-yard line by Peyton Rockwell. Brett Inscore, and a flag comes in.
So there was a little bit of extracurricular there at the end. I don't think Chiron Green enjoyed that last little hit. So we'll see if they going to wave that flag off, call it a night.
I think they are, because the officials are heading to the sideline, and that's going to wrap it up here. Your final score is Baker 19, Vernon 6. Seth, any final thoughts on tonight's game? A second win for the Gators this season.
Just a great win by the Gators, facing some adversity tonight. Last week, they were able to really cruise to that victory. Didn't have really any struggles, hardly any miscues. This week, start off kind of slow. Back-to-back possessions where they weren't able to really get anything started. Obviously, weren't able to score. And then they just came out. They made some adjustments, got in that Wildcat offense, and that seemed to just really click tonight. It was very effective with McLaughlin in shotgun, taking the ball and running. And so it was just really impressive to see them fight through some of that adversity, realize that they are still a strong team with a lot of talent and have a lot of different ways that they can attack you, and they utilize those ways tonight. So a strong outing for the Gators, and I'm looking forward again, like I said, to seeing them the rest of this season, seeing what they can do.
Well, you can see them right here next week against Joshua Christian Academy. If not, join us on WTJT 90.1 FM, Baker, Florida. Thanks so much to Seth Forehand. I'm Mark Forehand. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week right here.